Chapter 49. The headless flying corpses had decent stats, and their farming speed was fast. Most importantly, they didn't need to level up. 7 headless flying corpses farming monsters at an extraordinary speed. As for the meat shield, he could temporarily let 3 dumb act as it. During crucial moments, Lu Chen himself would be the biggest meat shield. What he needed was a group attack. This time, Lu Chen didn't need to be as careful as last time. Although the success rate was low, it was just a waste of time for the current Lu Chen. Half an hour later, Lu Chen's team had 5 new headless flying corpses. 2 turned into 7. Next, he used the materials on hand to level up the talents and grades of these guys to 2-star. There was a shortage of 3-star materials, but Lu Chen wasn't in a hurry. He could wait until he got more materials to level them up. In addition, Lu Chen gave each of them an equipment slot. They were equipped with wolf skin shoulder pads and spiked maces to increase their attack, defense, and health. It took more than 40 minutes for all the miscellaneous matters to be settled. Okay, finally done. Let's go chop down trees and move rocks. He brought the 10 men to the vicinity of Ren Ai Peak. The monsters around here were of higher levels, and it was located deep in the 100 Beast Mountain range. No players would come over for a while. 500 pieces of wood and 500 pieces of stone. Collect them and place them near the camp. I'll leave this job to the 10 of you. I have something to do, so I'll go offline first. Oh, right. If you guys complete the task early, 7 heads will bring 3 dumb to level up. After handing over the work, Lu Chen exited the game. While eating instant noodles, Lu Chen turned on his computer and entered Jiang City's website. Splendid Jiang City. Unknowingly, half of the boards on Jiang City's website had been occupied by 9 Heavens domain. The popularity of the Jiutian forum was high, and there were many news articles about Jiutian. Jiutian studios, gaming guilds, player organizations, and so on. It was quite rich. Jiutian's influence was still permeating the entire society at an extremely fast speed. Lu Chen shook his head and clicked on the Rivertown Real Estate section. Premium small apartment building, Huangshan First Class, is officially open for business. The location of the residential area is blessed by the heavens, and the transportation is convenient. The basic facilities are complete, and all the apartments are fully furnished. You can move in with your bag. The minimum is 400,000 yuan. 10,000 yuan in advance, 20,000 yuan for the purchase of a house. If you don't buy the house, you can get a full refund. Remaining time, 11 hours and 15 minutes. This kind of marketing could no longer deceive people. Starting from 400,000, it meant that most of them were worth more than 400,000. However, the prepayment of 10,000 to 20,000 was not bad. If it's a small apartment, the price shouldn't be too different. Lu Chen opened the Yellow Mountain first pin column page. As expected, the 400,000 yuan ones were gone. Most of them were 450,000 to 650,000 yuan, with an area of 60 to 80 square meters. In a small place like Jiang City, this price was considered average. Lu Chen looked at his bank card. He had earned 400,000 renminbi from the last auction. Including the income from other equipment, he had a total of 520,000 renminbi in savings. He could buy a smaller one with full payment. I earned 500,000 renminbi in less than a week. Lu Chen felt like he was dreaming. 70 square meters is enough for Lu Yi and me. Most importantly, this will be our own house. No matter how small the house was, as long as his sister was there, it would be a home. There was still half a month before the rental renewal. Once the rent was paid, it would be a quarter. If he could buy a new house and move in, he could save a quarter of the rental fees. That silly girl had stayed in the Soaring Dragon Club's dormitory for a few days. Last night, she called to say that she would be home tomorrow and asked him to make some delicious food. Lu Chen gritted his teeth, clicked on prepayment, and paid 10,000 yuan. There might not be any delicious food, but there is a house. Lu Chen smiled and shook his head. At the headquarters of the Northern Military Region, Li Muhua was reporting to the chief. Chief, everyone is still stuck in the poison fog forest. We lack poison resistance equipment. Although the old chief was old, he seemed to have done his homework. He understood the terms poison fog forest and poison resistance immediately. The poison fog forest is indeed difficult. I've seen many guild live streams. The chief sipped his tea leisurely. Then, he changed the topic. Oh right, solipsistic, have you found anything? Reporting, Chief. We haven't found anything. Jianqing's defense system is far beyond our intelligence team's level. We can't find his IP. The old chief didn't seem surprised. He said calmly, that's true. To be able to develop such a game, Jianqing's technology is beyond this era. Then, have you contacted Solipsistic? No, we've sent him many emails, but he hasn't replied. Oh, at most, he's sent a group email to tell us that he's auctioning something. The chief nodded and smiled. Who is this guy? To be able to leave all the players in the dust. We have to think of a way to contact him. It's best if we can make friends with him. Li Muhua was confused. Chief, isn't he just a gaming expert? Is there a need for the military to work with him? The chief looked at Li Muhua meaningfully. It seemed that this kid still didn't understand the mission clearly. Little Li, you have to remember that Jiutian game isn't as simple as it looks on the surface. The entire world's government and military are paying close attention to it. It might change the future of mankind. I'm guessing that when the second heaven comes online, we'll be able to see some clues. Li Muhua frowned. His face showed the determination of a soldier in the face of chaos. He seemed a little stubborn. Chief, I know your worries. I don't doubt your judgment. What I mean is that we're just late to the game. Give us a little more time, and our soldiers will definitely conquer the poison fog forest. The chief smiled and patted Li Muhua's shoulder. Of course, I believe you. What I mean is that we can lag behind others in terms of game progress, but our control of information must be ahead of everyone else. After the Yuyue Mystery Realm appeared, the system released a system announcement. This announcement also allowed people to know some information about Solipsistic. I believe that many people will be more interested in him. If you don't hold on to this kind of person, and he becomes an opponent in the end, it'll be a loss for us. Do you understand? Li Muhua didn't expect the chief to know about the system announcement. Now that he thought about it, he seemed to understand. The military had a more important mission. Although they kept a low profile in the game, it definitely didn't mean that they were here for leisure. The chief had already started to plan. I understand, Chief. I'll immediately think of a way to contact Solipsistic. Go ahead. The old man nodded happily. Seeing Li Muhua turn around, he suddenly called out to him. Oh, right, little Li, Chief, is there anything else? After we pass the poison fog forest, you can watch more videos of the Monolith Guild. Their method is feasible. They've already passed the poison fog forest. Li Muhua was stunned. The chief actually knew about the Monolith Guild. Yes, Chief. Chapter 50. Louis didn't have a day off until tomorrow. Lu Qin paid the deposit, went out for a meal, and worked out his body. Speaking of which, it was strange. Logically speaking, after playing games for so long and sitting on the bed for half a day, his body should be a little weak. But when Lu Qin did pull-ups, he found that it was much easier to do pull-ups than before. Is it because I'm preparing to buy a house? Lu Qin thought it was possible. For the brother and sister, buying a house was very important. If it wasn't for Jiutian, it might have taken 10 or 20 years before they dared to think about it. In the fitness area, the old people were also talking about their experience in Jiutian games. A few of their friends who usually played cards together were also teammates in the game. They planned to form a team. In the small store opposite the fitness area, the owner's wife was busy working alone. The owner was wearing a quantum helmet and was still working. A few middle school students who came out at night for some fresh air were talking about how it felt to fight monsters. I also got a club. Now I have no problem fighting a level 5 gnoll alone. That's nothing. Lu Yuan from class 11 is already level 8. Which professional guild does his brother belong to? If they pulled him in, he'll level up quickly. Damn, that works too. Level 8. Right, do you guys know about the Yue Mystery Realm? Of course I do. Solipsistic is already level 12. He cleared the Yue Mystery Realm alone. Fuck, I'm so jealous. I wonder if he dropped any godly equipment. But the strange thing is, did you guys notice that among the officially announced sects on the Immortal Mountain, there isn't a single sect? Yeah, I went to take a look too. Solipsistic passed the Poison Fog Forest long ago. Why hasn't he established a sect? Do you guys think we can join his sect? Lu Chen, who was doing pull-ups, shook his head. Sorry, you guys might not be able to join. My army isn't normal. Just as Lu Chen was about to do another pull-up, someone called from behind. Brother Chen. The person who came was one of Lu Chen's few good friends. Because of his dark skin, Lu Chen liked to call him Little Black. The two of them had known each other since they were young. After that, Lu Chen's family went through a huge change. Many of his friends had lost contact with him, and some had stopped contacting him. Only this guy had kept in touch with Lu Chen. This guy's family background was average, but during Lu Chen's most difficult times, Luo Yu, who was only a few years old, would bring some food from home from time to time, and even give some money to Lu Chen. Lu Chen suspected that he had stolen the money from his family and refused to accept it. However, Luo Yu said that it was his own private stash and stuffed the money into Lu Chen's hands before running away. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 years had passed. The house that Lu Chen and his sister lived in was found by Luo Yu. Although they lived in the same neighborhood, it was rare to see Luo Yu. Now that Luo Yu had joined an internet company, he was as busy as a dog every day. She could only see him occasionally on weekends. He was also the only one who would call him Chen Gu when they met. You're not working overtime today? Lu Chen got off the horizontal bar and the two of them found a place to sit down. Nope. Our company is now focused on the Jiutian business, and all of us are playing games. Huh? Your company isn't making money? Lu Chen asked in surprise. How could it not make money? We're planning on starting a live broadcast in the future to promote Jiutian strategies, databases, game assistant apps, and so on. Anyway, it's all in the preparation stage. Luo Yu handed a cigarette to Lu Chen. Our boss thinks that there's a huge business opportunity in Jiutian, but in order to do this, our employees need to be familiar with the game. Our boss even found a professional gaming studio to lead a team and certified a guild on the official website. After reaching level 10, a guild will be established. Right now, whoever's at a higher level and has access to more game content will have more opportunities in the future. Lu Chen nodded as if he understood. Then what level are you now? At the mention of the game, Luo Yu's eyes lit up. He said mysteriously, level 9. With gravel and leather shoulder pads. Awesome, right? Fuck me. Lu Chen's eyes widened. His level was definitely high, and with the 2 pieces of equipment dropped by Zachas, he didn't expect Luo Yu to be so strong. Oh right, didn't you buy a helmet too? Yeah, I bought a second-hand one. The previous tycoon bought a gaming cabin, so I didn't want the helmet. Why don't you join our guild? Lu Yi and the others are strict, but I'm not so strict. I can pull friends into the guild. With us two brothers working together, we'll definitely look down on everyone. Lu Chen smiled and shook his head. Forget it, I'm just playing for fun. I'll get some equipment and earn some money. Seeing that Lu Chen didn't agree, Luo Yu felt a little regretful. However, on second thought, he knew Lu Chen's family situation the best. If Lu Chen were to play games, the only reason would be to earn some extra money. Alright then. Oh right, we've done some statistics. The drop rate of special monsters is much higher than normal monsters. About 30 of them will drop a weapon. Now, a wooden club can be sold for around 100 on the market. If you get 2 or 3 of them a day, the income will be pretty good. Lu Chen frowned. The price of a wooden club had dropped to around 100. He didn't seem to pay much attention to the trading post these 2 days. Perhaps this was the normal price of a level 1 equipment. Oh right, let's add each other as friends in the game later. If I have time, I'll bring you to level up. When your level is higher, you'll be able to get more equipment. Lu Chen's mind raced. Ahem, that. I'm not in Rivertown's novice village. Ah. Oh, that's right. There are too many people in Rivertown's novice village. Where are you? I can go find you. Just as Lu Chen didn't know how to explain, a call from Luo Yu's colleague interrupted their conversation. Luo Yu hung up the phone and said apologetically, Brother Chen, my colleague is urging me to go online. The boss wants to rush into the poison fog forest. He wants us to level up quickly. Lu Chen felt as if he had been pardoned, but his face was full of regret. Then you should hurry back. Seeing Luo Yu run home in a panic, it seemed that he was under a lot of pressure. In order to get the boss's appreciation, he was really working hard. Even so, he was still thinking about him. Luo Yu never doubted him. Lu Chen felt a little guilty for not telling the truth. However, Luo Yu was right. When they reached a level 10 main city, they would eventually meet. Luo Yu, level up well. I'll give you 10 times what you gave us in the past. On the train from Black River to Rivertown, 4 young men sat in the last row of the first-class cabin. The 4 of them were dressed in plain clothes. Their bodies were well proportioned, and their eyes shone brightly. He looked like a soldier. There weren't many people in the first-class cabin, but there were still a few people wearing quantum helmets. With one look, it was obvious that they were playing Jiutian. Among the 4, a handsome short-haired guy looked at the passengers entering the game. His gaze gradually became a little absent-minded. After leaving the army, he deeply felt that Jiutian's influence was still growing. Boss, we'll be able to meet that person in 40 minutes. The crew-cut guy beside him whispered, his eyes filled with excitement. Yeah, I'm really curious about who he is. The short-haired guy said faintly. Don't be like groupies. Remember, we're going there to make friends. Don't ask what you shouldn't ask, don't mention what you shouldn't mention, and don't force what you can't force. Yes, battalion. Yes, boss. Chapter 51. Lu Yi only reached home at 9 p.m. When she saw Lu Chen, she almost pushed Lu Chen to the ground. Brother. I missed you so much. Lu Chen was both angry and amused. However, although Lu Yi was back, she had to go online before the guild could organize a raid on the poison fog forest in the evening. After all, Lu Yi was a member of the gaming club. Lu Chen was used to this. After reminding Lu Yi to go out the next day, Lu Chen could only go back to his room and log into the game. After more than 2 hours, there was a large amount of wood and stone piled up on Ren AI Peak. The materials were ready. Now, it was time to build the base camp. After the materials were ready, Lu Chen did not need to build the base camp himself. He chose a blueprint and the system automatically pieced the materials together. Soon, a stone wall was built around Lu Chen and surrounded the entire Ren AI Peak. Then, a 3-story building was built in the center. There was a stone pillar in each of the 4 directions of Ren Ai Peak. There was a flame burning on each of the stone pillars. Army Hall. Damn, it's really like this. The flames on the 4 pillars are the energy source for the operation of the formation. Lu Chen was curious. The mission, setting up the camp, has been completed. The 4 corners black armor defense formation has been set up for your camp. You can check the operation of the formation on the hall page. Lu Chen immediately opened the Forces option, and there were a few more information items inside. At the same time, it could also display a 3D thumbnail image of the entire Ren Ai Peak. At this time, the exterior of Benevolence Peak was already covered by a transparent barrier. For corners black armor mountain protection formation, 200000/200000, spiritual damage, this is the status of the formation. That means it can withstand 200,000 spiritual damage. A tier 3 formation is already so powerful. Lu Chen only had 7 spiritual damage. If he wanted to break the mountain protection formation, he would have to fight until the end of time. It seemed that his peak was safe for the time being. In addition, the Army Hall had a few other functions. Army Warehouse could store 100 items. Army Teleportation, clicking on the teleportation stone would allow one to teleport directly back to the Army's main camp. Army War could be used to declare war on other forces. Of course, only Lu Chen could operate it. Army Spiritual Energy Concentration currently showed 1. 2. Cultivating spiritual energy in the army would be 1.2 times faster than cultivating outside. Currently, the Benevolence Army had just been established, so they only opened these functions. In the future, I can quickly return to the city. When I'm cultivating my spiritual power, I can do it in the sect. I can get my subordinates to help me level up. After settling the matters of the army, Lu Chen asked 7 heads to bring the 3 idiots to Silent Moon Canyon to level up while he went offline to rest. The next morning, Lu Chen woke up Lu Yi, who was in a daze. "Brother, let me sleep for a while more. We stayed until 4:30 yesterday." Lu Yi could not even open her eyes. "Look at you guys. Why do you have to stay up all night? Isn't it the same if you do it during the day? Why do you have to tire yourselves out?" Lu Chen did not care. He tugged at Lu Yi and said, "Don't sleep anymore. Sleep when we get back. We have something important to do today." In front of the Yellow Mountain first-rank sales office, Lu Yi frowned and looked at her brother blankly. "Brother, what are we doing here?" Lu Chen smiled, "Let's go in and take a look." Lu Chen and Lu Yi did not realize that there were 4 people following them along the way. "Boss, he's that person. He doesn't look like it." "Yeah, didn't the internet say that there are tens of thousands of people working for him? He looks like an ordinary person." Li Muhua rolled his eyes at his 2 comrades. "Can you believe the things on the internet? Why don't you think about it? The more ordinary he is, what does that prove? What does that prove? Stupid. It proves that he's more powerful." Li Muhua shook his head helplessly. The 3 young men pondered. Yeah, tens of thousands of people working for him. He was already the most powerful person. Compared to a person who relied on his own strength to become the most powerful person on the internet, which one is more powerful? Of course, it's the latter. Now that you mention it, it's really like that. How did this guy do it? Don't ask what you shouldn't ask. Li Muhua said, "Remember, we're here to make friends. Let's go in first." There were quite a lot of people who came to look at the building today. As a small and well-renovated Huangshan first class, the location was good and the price was not too expensive. Since the opening, the sales had been very good. Now, there were not many houses left. A few sales ladies were busy attending to the customers. These people might have the intention to make a deal, so they did not dare to neglect them. "Brother, this house is so beautiful. Louis looked at the model left and right. Even if she could not afford it, she should at least look at it. As for Louis, she had always wanted to have her own house. Lu Chen was also looking at the different house models carefully. Louis, which one do you think is better? The 70 square meter one is very good. It has 2 rooms, a living room, and a bathroom. It's okay if it's smaller. It's just right for the 2 of us. The most important thing is that the balcony is big. We can grow flowers and dry clothes. After dinner, we can go out and enjoy the cool air and the scenery. Lu Chen also liked the 72 square meter one. The house design was very scientific. There was no waste of space, the balcony was big, and the lighting was good. He glanced at the price. It was 537,000 yuan. If he counted the previous 10,000 yuan to 20,000 yuan, Lu Chen had just enough money to buy it. Brother, we've made it look like it's real. Even if we like it, we can't afford it. Let's go. Louis shook her head and was about to leave with Lu Chen. Lu Chen suddenly said, let's buy this one. Louis looked at Lu Chen in shock, huh? Brother, am I not awake or is your sister awake? We can't afford it even if we take a mortgage. The down payment is more than 100,000 yuan. Even if we borrow money to buy it, we won't be able to repay the loan in the future. Lu Chen smiled mysteriously at Louis. He deliberately kept her in suspense and pulled her to the sales lady. The sales lady was also dumbfounded. A customer actually came to her directly to buy a house. It was like a pie falling from the sky. She quickly went to get the contract. Sitting in the contract area, Lu Chen showed the receipt of the advance payment on his phone. The sales lady went to check the information again. Brother, when did you pay the advance payment? Are we really going to buy a house? Louis quickly asked softly while the sales lady was not around. We're about to sign the contract. Are you serious? Where did you get the money? I earned it. Don't worry, your brother didn't rob a bank. It's clean money. Louis was so shocked that she could not speak. After the sales lady returned, she had already confirmed Lu Chen's advance payment information and started to sign the contract. Sir, you came at the right time. This 72 square meter small apartment is the last one. This is on the 8th floor and the location is very good. That's why the price is slightly higher. That's why it's been kept until now. The sales lady said enthusiastically, may I ask what kind of payment method you'd like to choose? Commercial loan or provident fund loan? Full payment, Lu Chen said. Louis opened her mouth and looked at Lu Chen in disbelief. Buying a house was one thing, but it was a full payment. Her mind was filled with huge question marks. Even the sales lady was stunned. There were many young people who came to buy houses, but they were usually accompanied by their elders. However, these 2 were not only here on their own, but they did not even have their parents' page in their household register. These 2 young people should be orphans. They were so young, but they were able to buy a house in full. This was very rare. Well, Mr. Lu, if it's a full payment, you'll have to pay the full amount after signing the contract. I know. I brought the card. Lu Chen had done a lot of work before. Since the customer had no problems, the sales lady naturally had no problems either. She quickly signed the contract. Mr. Lu, please follow me. I'll bring you to swipe the card. At this moment, a middle-aged man in a suit walked over quickly and asked eagerly, Xiao Min, has the contract been signed? The sales lady looked confused. Manager Huang, it's already signed. Is there a problem? Then, has the money been paid? I'm about to bring the customer to swipe the card. Then there's no need to swipe the card. This house is not for sale. Huh? Lu Chen looked at Manager Huang strangely. Why aren't you selling it? Manager Huang sized up Lu Chen and his sister. One look at their clothes and he knew that they were not rich kids. He snorted. Because someone bought this house. Chapter 52. Lu Chen was a little angry this time. How can you be so dishonest when doing business? We signed the contract first. How can you sell the house to others? Manager Huang did not look apologetic at all. Instead, he said arrogantly, the contract hasn't been stamped yet, so it's normal for it to be invalid. Anyway, the place where the contract was signed was a separate room. He was not afraid that someone would take a video and watch the show. Lu Yi saw that her brother was angry and did not care about the doubts in her heart. She said angrily, since you put the house up for sale, everyone should buy it in order. Manager Huang looked at the siblings impatiently and snorted, I don't need to explain to you. Now, please return the contract to us. This manager Huang obviously had some scruples when he asked for the contract. Based on this, it was very likely that when he said that the house had been sold, he was lying. He was afraid that Lu Chen and his sister would use this contract to make an issue out of it. After finding manager Huang's weakness, Lu Chen took the contract in his hand. You're bullying your customers, aren't you? Sure, I'll call the People's Livelihood channel right now and expose untrustworthy businessmen like you. Lu Yi, make the call. Just as Lu Yi picked up her phone, manager Huang slapped it away. The phone fell to the ground and smashed into pieces. What are you doing? Lu Chen was really angry this time. He wanted to rush over and beat this guy up. Lu Yi was his reverse scale. How could Lu Chen not be angry if he dared to touch Lu Yi? Brother. Lu Yi grabbed Lu Chen. After all, this was their territory. There were more than 10 security guards around. If they fought here, it would only be her brother who would be at a disadvantage. Manager Huang's face darkened. Kid, what is your status? You better consider it carefully. I'm not afraid to tell you the truth. This house has not been sold yet, but someone has taken a fancy to it. As for what you said about first come, first served, I'm sorry. This rule is only for ordinary citizens like you to follow. People with status have always been able to take whatever they want. Do you understand? You. Lu Chen was furious. This was too much of a bully. Manager Huang picked up Lu Chen's household register on the table. What are you doing? Put it down. Under the protection of 4 security guards, Manager Huang turned a deaf ear to Lu Chen's warning and casually flipped through the household register. There were only him and Lu Yi in the household register. Humph, you don't even have parents. No wonder you don't know how to behave. Manager Huang casually threw the household register on the table. You can earn 500,000 yuan. TSK, TSK. Manager Huang looked at Lu Yi. It seems that you mainly rely on your sister to earn the money. She's so young. How many customers has she received? Since you don't have parents to teach you, I'll help your old man teach you. Dregs of society like you won't be able to cause any trouble. You can call the police or find the media. Do you believe me? Before I change my mind, take your sister and scram. With a loud bang, Lu Chen's fist answered Manager Huang's question. Brother! Lu Yi cried out. Lu Chen's punch was powerful enough to send Manager Huang flying and crashing into the wall of the signing room. When Manager Huang came back to his senses, half of his face was swollen and his mouth was full of blood. Lu Chen did not expect his punch to be so powerful. You fucking refused a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. What are you waiting for? Beat them up. Beat them both to death. Use your batons. Manager Huang shouted angrily. More than 10 security guards took out their batons and approached Lu Chen. Lu Chen wanted to rush over and beat up this rude Manager Huang, but he saw Lu Yi behind him. There were more than 10 tall security guards with batons in their hands. How could Lu Yi take a beating? In the end, Lu Qin gave up on chasing manager Huang. He turned around and hugged Lu Yi tightly, using his body to protect his sister. Bang, bang, bang. There was a series of bangs. The batons that he expected to rain down on him did not fall. Lu Qin turned around in surprise and saw 4 people standing in front of him and his sister. The 4 of them were well-proportioned, tall and straight, and all of them had short hair. In front of them, more than 10 security guards were lying on the ground, groaning in pain. You. Who are you? Manager Huang shrank into a corner and looked at the 4 of them in horror. You don't need to know who we are. We heard what you said just now, the leader said loudly. They have signed the contract. Do you think you can stop selling just because you don't want to? Manager Huang's eyes darted around. He could not figure out who these 4 people were. You. Mind your own business. Do you know which developer we are? How dare you mess with Zhongqing Real Estate? I think you're tired of living. If you know what's good for you, get lost. Zhongqing Real Estate's Jiangqing branch. The man's back was facing Lu Qin, so he could not see his expression. He took out his phone and dialed a number. Boss, we have a problem here. When that person bought a house at Zhongqing Real Estate's Jiangqing branch. After explaining the situation, he hung up the phone. Looking for someone? Ha 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 ha. Now you know how to look for someone. Manager Huang suddenly laughed arrogantly. Let me tell you, in Jiangqing, no one dares to mess with Zhongqing. Oh, is that so? Then we'll wait and see. After saying that, the man smiled and turned to Lu Qin and his sister. Are you okay? Lu Qin was puzzled. Who were these 4 people? Someone might come here later. You should go back first. I'll give you a satisfactory answer about the house. Li Muhua inadvertently saw the phone on the floor and added, oh right, there's your sister's phone too. Lu Qin could not figure out what was going on. Are you sure there's no problem? What he said just now sounded like they're not simple. Don't worry. They're not simple, but... Li Muhua smiled. We're not simple either. Since they said so, Lu Qin did not say anything else. Lu Yi was still here. He would leave first. After tidying up the materials on the table, Lu Qin left the signing room with Lu Yi. After Lu Qin left, Li Muhua looked at his companions and raised his eyebrows at them. The 4 of them immediately understood and high-fived in celebration. Oh yeah, I didn't expect to encounter such a thing. That's great. Haha, we're friends now. Oh, Manager Huang, thank you so much. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what to do. Manager Huang was dumbfounded. What was going on? Jiangshi City Municipal Building. In the office on the top floor, an old man with white hair was working. The phone on the table suddenly rang. This call was a direct call. Not just anyone could make it. The old man picked up the phone. Xiao Lin, are you busy? With Lin Xueshan's current status, the number of people who could call him Xiao Lin could be counted on one hand. When he heard the familiar voice, Lin Xueshan stood up immediately. Yes, it's the old squad leader. Of course, the old squad leader was definitely not just squad leader now. Lin Xueshan could not help but blurt it out because of their friendship back then. Ha ha ha, Secretary Lin, I didn't expect you to recognize my voice after so long. Ha ha ha, Commander Su, I can't recognize other people's voices, but how can I not recognize your voice? Let me tell you, I can still dream of your voice calling for us to gather in the middle of the night. They were old comrades. Although one was in the military and the other was in politics, they still had endless topics to talk about when they talked about the past. Old Su, why did you think of calling me? Me? I'm here to complain to you, the parent official. You have Zhongqing Real Estate on your side. They're very arrogant and despotic. Oh. There's such a thing. Tell me slowly. I'd like to see what right he has to be arrogant. Chapter 53. Lu Chen and Louis quickly left the sales center. Brother, who are they? I don't know them either. Then, will they be fine? That manager Huang seems to have a backer. Lu Chen was also worried. Stay here and don't run around. I'll go back and take a look. Brother, it's okay. I won't be rash. Be good. After Lu Chen finished speaking, he was about to return to the sales center when he saw a fleet of black commercial vehicles parked in front of the sales center. This license plate. Is it a government car? Lu Chen was a little puzzled, but he still sneaked into the sales center. At this time, the customers in the lobby were temporarily invited to the resting area. A group of people hurried in from the door. Seeing these people, Lu Chen felt that they looked familiar. He seemed to have seen them on TV before. City leaders. Manager Huang hurriedly rushed out of the signing room. When he saw this group of people, his face turned pale. In front of Lin Xueshan, Manager Huang was like a different person. He nodded and bowed. He did not have the arrogant look from before. Director. Director Jiang, why are you here? Why didn't you inform us in advance that you are coming? We could have received you. Manager Huang could only get in touch with Director Jiang from the Municipal Bureau of Supervision. Director Jiang looked at the few people behind him nervously. One of them nodded at him slightly, indicating for him to do his work as usual. Director Jiang took a deep breath. In front of so many leaders behind him, the pressure was not ordinary. Especially this incident had alarmed that person, the leader signaled, and Director Jiang calmed down. He purposely looked around. Manager Huang, the sales of Yellow Mountain First Pin are very good. Manager Huang rolled his eyes. He did not know why Director Jiang suddenly said this. Ah. Ha. It's all thanks to the city's economic development. Our current leadership has done a lot for the people. Developing the economy, setting up economic development zones, building. Director Jiang did not wait for Manager Huang to finish and suddenly changed the topic. In my opinion, we have not done well enough. At least, the public security is not good enough. If not, why would Manager Huang be beaten up like this? Manager Huang was not stupid. Director Jiang's words sounded like he was concerned about him. But why would the leader come down personally for such a small matter? The leader definitely did not come down because of his injuries. The leader was throwing a brick to attract more attention. Well, Director Jiang, it was an accident. I'm sorry for making a fool of myself. Chief Jiang shook his head. What kind of accident could be so serious? Manager Huang, since we have time, tell us what happened. Does the leader have time? Obviously, that was impossible. The leaders were holding them accountable. At this moment, a Mercedes-Benz stopped outside the door in a hurry, and a group of people got out of the car. The person who came was the leader of Zhongqing Real Estate's Jiangqing branch, Regional Manager Zhang Weiguo. Director Jiang, Director Wang, Director Peng, and Secretary Lin. Zhang Weiguo's experience was naturally not something that Manager Huang could compare to. However, when he saw all these leaders, his lips trembled. With so many leaders here, something big must have happened. Looking at Huang Xia's swollen face, he thought about what Huang Xia had told him. It was most likely related to that incident. Director Zhang, you're here too. I'm really sorry. We didn't receive any notice before. When the leaders came, we weren't prepared at all. Zhang Weiguo hurriedly said. What do you need to prepare? A loud voice came from the signing room. Then, 4 young people walked out. Manager Huang, didn't you say that no one in Jiangqing would dare to touch you? You didn't take the leaders seriously just now. Li Muhua led the team out and walked to Lin Xueshan. Just as he was about to salute, Lin Xueshan held Li Muhua's hand in time and smiled at him. Li Muhua understood that the old chief should have taken care of him. He tried his best not to expose his identity outside. Oh. Huang Xia, how do you usually talk to others? Director Jiang looked at Huang Xia playfully. Huang Xia was so scared that his face turned completely white. He looked at Zhang Weiguo and the latter's eyes were burning with anger. Friend, are you kidding? How can I say such things? Li Muhua didn't waste any time and immediately turned on the recording. Manager Huang's tone in the recording was completely different from what he was saying now. Scum of society, like you can't do anything. You can call the police or find the media. Do you believe me? Don't be a busybody. Do you know which developer we are? You dare to mess with Zhongqing real estate? I think you're tired of living. If you know what's good for you, get lost. Find someone. Ha 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 ha. Now you know how to find someone. Let me tell you, in Jiangqing, no one dares to mess with Zhongqing. Caught red-handed, Manager Huang's legs turned to jelly and he knelt on the ground. I was talking nonsense. My brain is damaged. Huang Xia could not think of any way to salvage the situation. He slapped himself in the face. He slapped himself left and right. Pa. Enough. Lin Xueshan suddenly said impatiently. If you have self-awareness, reflect on yourself. Don't play to the gallery here. Huang Xia slapped himself and was scolded by others. Was he being too noisy? Huang Xia froze and didn't know what to do. What I want to ask now is whether the renovation materials of Huangshan first grade are shoddy and cheap materials that contain a lot of harmful substances to the human body. This concerns the livelihood of the people. We have to investigate it thoroughly. Director Jiang immediately became serious. Secretary Lin, the inspection department is checking. There will be news soon. Zhang Weiguo's legs went soft or he was tired of standing. He actually sat down on the chair when all the leaders were standing. Not long after, the report came. Holding the inspection report, Secretary Lin's face was a little ugly. He immediately said sternly, which department was in charge of the previous inspection? Which person was in charge? I'll give you 1 day. No matter who is involved, you must submit it to my desk. Director Jiang also panicked and hurriedly replied, Yes, Secretary Lin. Tell Lu Ming of Zhongqing to come to me. Lu Ming was the general manager of Zhongqing's Huadong district. The person in charge of the Commerce Department said shakily, Yes, Secretary Lin. Lin Xueshan suppressed his anger. Only when he saw Li Muhua and the others did his mood improve slightly. Young man, you did well. The 4 of you follow me to the car. I want to know more about the situation. Lu Chen hid in the corner and watched with a dumbfounded expression. Those 4 people were too ruthless. They directly wiped out Zhongqing. Manager Huang knelt on the ground. The general manager of Zhongqing, Zhang Weiguo, was paralyzed with fear. Soon, the 2 of them were taken away by the economic investigation team. The entire Huangshan first grade was really going to be ruined. Speaking of which, how could the leaders in the city find out about Huangshan first grade's problem at this juncture? It was obviously not possible. Moreover, judging from Secretary Lin's attitude towards those 4 people, it was obviously different. This matter was definitely related to those 4 people. Although he didn't understand the relationship between them, at least he could be sure that nothing would happen to the 4 of them. Fuck, luckily I didn't buy it. Otherwise, I would have been poisoned by formaldehyde. Lu Chen sneaked out of the sales office. Chapter 54. That afternoon, Lu Chen took his sister to a buffet to calm her nerves. When they got home, Louis looked absent-minded. She looked at her brother worriedly. Brother, we won't be implicated in this, right? Lu Chen frowned. Those 4 people are not ordinary people. I can't believe they managed to hire someone from the city. But they don't seem to have any bad intentions. Lu Yi nodded and felt a little relieved. Just then, Lu Chen's phone rang. It was an unknown number. It was hard not to connect the dots when an unknown number called right after something like this happened. In order not to let his sister continue to worry, Lu Chen found an excuse and went back to his room to pick her up. Hello, is this Mr. Lu Chen? Who's this? Mr. Lu Chen, we met today. Do you remember? Didn't I say that I would give you a satisfactory answer about the house and phone? Lu Chen was a little puzzled. He had brought the contract and personal information back. Zhongqing should not have had time to enter his information into the system. How did that guy find his phone number? How did you know my phone number? This. Mr. Lu Chen, you don't have to be so wary of us. We don't have any bad intentions. If it's convenient, can you and your sister come to the municipal building tomorrow? Secretary Lin would like to see you too. Huh? Lu Chen was a little confused. Secretary Lin wanted to see him. However, if they were with Secretary Lin, he did not need to worry. Secretary Lin had a good reputation in the city. He was a good leader who did things for the people. Moreover, if Secretary Lin wanted to see him, how could he not go? Okay, I'll be there tomorrow morning. Lu Yi followed behind her brother. She did not know why, but when she returned home, she suddenly encountered a series of strange things. Her brother earned 500,000 yuan in a week. When he was buying a house, he encountered a hero who saved the damsel in distress. A big project like Mount Huangshan collapsed because of him. The city's top leader wanted to see him. Oh my God, it felt like a dream. The guard did not make things difficult for Lu Chen and his sister. They arrived at the top floor of the municipal building without a hitch. The 4 people who had helped them before were already waiting for them there. Mr. Lu Chen, Ms. Lu Yi, you're here. Secretary Lin is waiting for you. Li Muhua greeted them warmly and led them into the office. Lu Chen and Lu Yi were a little nervous as this was their first meeting with the secretary. Secretary Lin raised his head and looked at the 2 of them. His gaze lingered on Lu Chen for a few seconds before he smiled and walked over to hold Lu Chen's hand. You're Lu Chen. Nice to meet you. Lu Chen was baffled when Secretary Lin took the initiative to shake his hand. Lu Yi, right? You're Lu Chen's sister. Nice to meet you. Lu Yi nodded stiffly. Seeing that the 2 of them were a little unnatural, Secretary Lin laughed and said, "Ha ha ha, you 2 little guys, don't be so nervous. If a parent official makes the people feel afraid, it means that he is not a good official. Come, have a seat. Shaoli, why are you still standing? Go and make some tea for the 2 guests." Yes. Li Muhua answered neatly. Lu Chen and Lu Yi sat opposite Secretary Lin. Secretary Lin had a kind smile on his face. I already know about the fight between the 2 of you yesterday. It's all thanks to the 2 of you. If it weren't for the 2 of you, we wouldn't have discovered the problem with the first-grade Yellow Mountain. Otherwise, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Lu Chen blinked his eyes. Was Secretary Lin mistaken? What did this have to do with him? He did fight for it at that time, but it seemed like he was fighting for a house. Secretary Lin waved his hand. Xiao Lu, I know what you want to say. You can only take a small part of the credit. But there is no doubt that if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have known about the first-grade Yellow Mountain. You can ask Xiao Li about the details. Lu Chen stole a glance at Xiao Li who was standing at the side. This guy was one of the 4 people and seemed to be the leader of the 4. Secretary Lin continued, Today, I called the 2 of you here because I want to get to know the 2 of you. The other reason is to apologize and compensate. The case is currently under investigation. We will definitely investigate the people involved strictly. Yesterday, Zhongqing CEO Lu came back from overseas. They will completely rectify the first-grade Yellow Mountain. At the same time, they will compensate all the customers for their losses. Moreover, he will personally apologize to you and your sister and compensate for your losses. Secretary Lin then said to Li Muhua, "Xiao Li, let CEO Lu and the rest in." They have been waiting outside for half an hour. Yes, Secretary Lin. Not long after, Li Muhua brought 3 middle-aged men to Secretary Lin's office. The 3 of them were also carrying bags of various sizes. Secretary Lin. Among the 3 of them, a fat man in his 40s looked very uneasy. Secretary Lin nodded. CEO Lu, you don't have to say anything. We will handle this matter by the book. If it's related to your higher-ups, we will go through the legal process. If it's a management loophole, you will also have to accept punishment. Also, from the performance of your employees, I have already asked Director Zhang to investigate whether they have the protection of the underworld. Lu Ming's face alternated between green and white. Especially the second half of Secretary Lin's sentence, it was even more intimidating. The previous case was an economic one, but the protection of the underworld was a criminal case. Now that the country was vigorously eradicating the underworld, the entire Zhongqing could be finished if they ran into the muzzle of the gun. This Zhang Weiguo, what was Huang Xia doing? How many benefits did they reap in private? Unfortunately, now was not the time to talk about this. Lu Ming and the other 2 nodded their heads like a rattledrum. Yes, yes, yes. Secretary Lin is right. We must investigate thoroughly. Our company will fully cooperate with the investigation. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming saw Lu Chen and his sister and hurried forward. This must be Mr. and Mrs. Lu. Hello, I am Lu Ming, the manager of Zhongqing's Eastern District. I already know about yesterday's incident. Huang Xia has caused great harm to the 2 of you. I would like to express my deepest apologies. On behalf of Zhongqing Real Estate Corporation Limited, I sincerely apologize to the 2 of you. After that, Lu Ming's round body bent at a 90-degree angle. The finance director, mayor, and director behind him bowed deeply. I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Lu. Lu Chen and Lu Yi blinked their eyes. Speaking of which, to be honest, they had lost a mobile phone yesterday, but it did not seem to have caused any great harm. On the other hand, Lu Chen had punched Huang Xia until his face was like a steamed bun. Oh, by the way, we know that the 2 of you have suffered great financial losses in the process of buying a house. We must compensate you for this. Lu Ming gave a look to his partner behind him, and the latter hurriedly took out the handbag in his hand. These are 2 newly released Apple mobile phones. This is a 50,000 yuan voucher for the purchase of a house. In addition, this is our Zhongqing Group's Diamond VIP card. If you purchase any property under our group, you can enjoy a 30% discount. Lu Chen frowned and exchanged glances with Lu Yi. The compensation was so generous. It was a little embarrassing to accept it. Seeing that Lu Chen and his sister were a little hesitant, Lu Ming bowed again at a 90-degree angle and pleaded, "Please be sure to accept our apology." Looking at Director Lu's sincere gaze, Lu Chen felt that if he did not accept it, it would be embarrassing for the other party. Chapter 55. Facing Lu Ming's pleading gaze, Lu Chen had no choice but to accept it. Before Lu Chen left, Secretary Lin stopped Lu Chen and handed him a slip of paper. "Little Lu, this is my private number. If you and Lu Yi encounter any difficulties, you can call me anytime." Lu Chen and Lu Yi were stunned. Even Lu Ming and the rest had uncertain expressions. Secretary Lin also had a business card, but the phone number on it was a work phone. It was difficult to get a business card. Yet, Secretary Lin gave Lu Chen and his sister his personal phone number. What kind of treatment was this? Lu Ming had a lot of doubts in his heart. Who exactly were those two siblings? Why did Secretary Lin value them so much? Alright, you guys can go back. Let Little Li drive you guys. Coming out of the municipal building, Lu Chen had Secretary Lin's phone number. He also had two more phones in his hands, a 50,000 discount coupon and a VIP card, as well as Lu Ming's grateful gaze. A 30% discount when buying a house. The value of this card was hard to calculate. In fact, Zhongqing Real Estate was considered a legitimate company. Most of their properties were of high quality. Otherwise, Yellow Mountain First Class would not have sold so well. As for Yellow Mountain First Class, it was probably Zhang Weiguo who took bribes and cut corners to fill his own pockets. No matter what, this trip was rewarding. It was beyond Lu Chen's expectations. However, Lu Chen did not let these benefits go to his head. After reaching home, Lu Yi rushed to go online. The company was clearing the poison fog forest again. She could not be absent this time. After Lu Yi left, Lu Chen did not get out of the car. Who are you? Lu Chen frowned and looked at Li Muhua who was driving. Li Muhua smiled slightly. If you can treat me as a friend. Friend? Lu Chen shook his head. If we are friends, why don't you tell me your true identity? Why are you helping us? What do you want from me? Li Muhua looked at both sides of the road. There's a tea house over there. Let's go have some tea. The tea house was cold and cheerless, but it was just right for them to discuss matters. Li Muhua finally spoke. In Jiutian, there is a person called the best in the world. He is currently the most mysterious existence in the game. However, it seems that he has never taken a liking to us. Our emails are like those of all the other guilds. They are like stones thrown into the sea. Lu Chen frowned. And then? Li Muhua continued, due to some special reasons, we wanted to establish a mutually beneficial relationship with the best in the world. However, we have been unable to contact them for a long time. Furthermore, the Heavenly Network's defense system is impenetrable. Under these circumstances, we had no choice but to use some special means. We tracked the remittance records of the major banks and matched them with his transactions in the trading zone. Finally, we found this person. Lu Chen finally understood how these guys had found him. It was through the bank transfer records. How ruthless. Since Li Muhua had found the bank's information, Li Muhua would naturally be able to find him. Obviously, they already knew that he was the solipsistic, but they didn't point it out. Why are you looking for him? Let's be friends, Li Muhua said with a smile. Lu Chen narrowed his eyes slightly. Their request was that simple. Li Muhua took a sip of tea. In the future, he can sell the equipment he gets and play the game however he wants. Just one thing. If a friend is in trouble, we hope that he can lend a helping hand. Lu Chen frowned. It's just a game. Does the military need to put in so much effort? Jiutian is not as simple as just a game. Li Muhua's expression became serious. The entire world's government and military are stationed here. Do you really think that we have nothing to do? Lu Chen knew about this too. However, as a commoner, he couldn't possibly have access to confidential information. Since you guys are willing to put in so much effort to play Jiutian, with your strength, what do you need the solipsistic to help you with? Li Muhua shook his head. I can't predict the specifics. Hence, we don't have any requests for the solipsistic now. We just want to be friends. Is this a must? No, it's a request. How can friends be forced? Li Muhua laughed. Lu Chen nodded. This guy was quite interesting. However, Li Muhua and the others did help him a lot this time. If it weren't for them, he could only swallow this loss. Not only that, but Secretary Lin also seemed to think highly of him. Li Muhua's superiors must have spoken to him. To be able to help him to this extent, but not show a strong attitude, instead, he appeared humble and friendly, which was what Lu Chen appreciated the most. Of course, if the solipsistic is willing to sell us some equipment, that would be the best. Lu Chen smiled. This guy just let it slip. We still haven't passed the poison fog forest. It's so frustrating. Now that more and more guilds have passed it, I'm so anxious. The main problem is that our equipment is too poor. Without poison resistance equipment and Evans Hill's protection, we can't even pass the snake tide with 500 people. There are too many bamboo pythons. They are everywhere in sight. Lu Chen thought for a while and said, "How many of you want to pass? Let's send a few people over first. Once someone is there, we can pick them up at Ivanhill." Lu Chen nodded. Without poison resistance, you can't pass the snake tide. By the way, which novice village are you in? Gan District Novice Village. Lu Chen thought for a while and looked at the time, 7 to 7:30 p.m. Let's try the poison fog forest. Alright, I've finished my tea. I'll be leaving first. How are we going to pass? Hey, Lu Chen. Don't come to my house. Lu Chen paid the bill and left, 6:40 p.m. The 500 people of the Northern Military Vanguard Group gathered in front of the poison fog forest. Boss, are you sure you want to go now? Our equipment is too poor. Yeah, it's a waste of time. Why don't we level up and kill Zachas? Yes. With equipment, we can slowly kill the spider's lair and accumulate poison resistance equipment. Only then can we pass the snake tide. Li Muhua's in-game ID was Iron and Blood Guard. He had been questioned by his teammates for a long time. Most importantly, he was not confident. Lu Chen only told him the time. He did not tell him how to pass or how to answer his subordinates. Can't that guy make it clear? Li Muhua gritted his teeth in anger. 20 minutes, 7 p.m. Don't talk nonsense. Everyone, charge. Li Weihua ordered loudly. We only have half an hour. Don't attack the spider's lair. Charge straight out. When it's time for the snake tide, each team will act as a unit and follow our previous strategy. A soldier's duty was to obey. No matter what doubts they had, at this moment, everyone rushed into the poison fog forest. The spiders in the first stage stopped a few people. This loss was not much. The key was the snake tide. At this point, all the commanders were on high alert. Teams in charge of the rear, pay attention. Send out as many as you can. Why, are there so few venomous snakes here? There are only a few hundred left. That's impossible. There were at least a few thousand here. Now there's only a tenth. Were they killed? Are you kidding me? Can anyone level up in the snake tide? Even those who rushed out will not want to come back. Li Muhua also noticed this problem, and he was stunned. Could it be him? Chapter 56. No one could wipe out the entire snake tide, but there was one person who could not be judged by common sense, and that was the best in the world. Li Muhua suddenly understood why Lu Chen asked him to attack the poison fog forest from 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. He cleared out the snake tide. Why were there still giant pythons here? Maybe the system spawned them. After all, it took them a few minutes to rush here from the spider's nest. Damn, he cleared out the entire snake tide. This guy is too strong. Hundreds of giant pythons were still a big threat to the players who had no poison resistance. Basically, every bite would leave one behind. But this was already much better than before. This time, dozens of people might be able to make it out. Li Muhua immediately realized that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and quickly focused on commanding. All team leaders, give your all. If no one makes it out, the team leader will go back and do 500 push-ups. Li Muhua's punishment made the team leaders shudder. Of course, most importantly, they also realized that this was an opportunity and gave their all to command the troops. In the end, 67 people made it out of the snake tide. "Boss, there's still Ivanhill below. Be careful." Li Muhua naturally knew that too. He quickly reorganized the troops and moved forward carefully. However, the legendary invincible boss, Ivanhill, did not appear. They just went straight through the poison fog forest. Standing on the road to the level 10 main city, everyone could not believe it. What happened just now? We made it. The boss is gone. That guy really cleared out the snake tide. Oh my god, is he even human? Thousands of giant pythons, and he cleared them. Li Muhua was more shocked than anyone else. Not only did Lu Chen clear out the snake tide, but it had only been an hour since he made the promise. In an hour, he cleared out the snake tide that stopped countless players and countless professional guilds. Just how strong was that guy? He even killed Evans Hill while he was at it. Too strong, too strong. The leader's vision is indeed different. Lu Chen had just thrown Ivanhill's guardian into the trading point. With 7 heads, the snake tide was too fast. Before the snake monsters could surround them, they were killed by the 7 heads. Unfortunately, the snake tide did not drop any equipment. Speaking of which, the snake tide respawned quite quickly. If they didn't have any poison resistance equipment, it would be impossible for Li Muhua's men to charge out of the poison fog forest. Who knew how many of them would be able to charge out? For the past 2 days, Lu Chen had only been online for a short period of time. He had allowed 7 heads to carry 3 idiots. In the end, the 3 idiots' levels finally caught up. Currently, Lu Chen's entire team was at level 14. The other 10 men's backpacks were already filled to the brim with equipment. There were 47 spiked maces and 53 wolf skin leg guards. There was also a new piece of equipment, a level 10 floral dress. What's this? Lu Chen immediately inspected the equipment. Flower dress, level 10 white, strange outfit, female only, a long dress made of special petals. It has an exquisite appearance and carries a faint floral fragrance. Increases movement speed by 5%. Has a small chance of confusing the opponent. Confuse a target whose level is lower than the user's, gain control of the target within 30 seconds. There's such a thing. Lu Chen was also quite surprised. He picked up the equipment. There was indeed a faint floral fragrance. It was quite pleasant. The movement speed increase was very low, but it was still the first piece of equipment that increased movement speed. The key was that the skill at the back was quite interesting. It was a pity that it could only be worn by female characters. It couldn't even be displayed when trying it on. After grinding for so long, only 1 piece of equipment dropped. This drop rate is too low. Lu Chen shook his head. I can only sell it. The monsters killed by his men were counted in Lu Chen's kill count. Lu Chen looked at the reputation shop. The new bloodline only showed the 3-petal flower demon. He had already reached the required kill count. The Phantom Moon Silver Wolf and Steel-backed Thorn Jackal definitely had enough kill counts too. However, their bloodline was the same as his, so it wasn't displayed. Let's clear these guys' backpacks first. I'll sell the equipment and come back to fuse with the flower demon's talent. Maces. 500, wolf skin leg guards. The positioning is a bit awkward. 200 should be enough. Finally, there was the 100 flower dress. Lu Chen was a bit unsure of the price. It had no attributes at all. It was considered a special item. He didn't know how much it could be sold for. Forget it. I'll put this in the auction area. Let's set the starting price at 1,000. Then we'll have a time limit of 20 minutes. As soon as Lu Chen put the equipment up for sale, there was a notification of a sale. The maces were the most popular. After all, most people still had level 1 weapons. The 47 maces were sold out very quickly. $22,325 had been transferred to his account. Originally, Lu Chen was worried that the leg guards wouldn't sell well. After all, the low-level ones would want the poison fog set. He didn't know if the higher-level ones would want it. However, unexpectedly, the sales of the leg guards didn't have any problems at all. Although there were more and more people passing through the poison fog forest, in a team, only a few people could make it out alive. Take Wen Qim's team for example. She was the only one who made it out alive. Due to the small number of people, it was still very difficult for these people to fight wild monsters that were level 10 and above. The defense and HP bonus of the wolf skin leg guards were very important. The price of $200 wasn't expensive. In a short period of time, the market demand was very high, so it was sold out very quickly. $10,070 had been transferred to his account. What Lu Chen didn't expect was that the price of the 100-flower dress in the auction area had risen to $3,400 in just 5 minutes. No way. This thing can be sold for so much. Lu Chen couldn't believe it. He had almost sold it for $1,000 or $2,000, there were still 15 minutes before the end of the auction. Lu Chen suddenly thought of Wen Qim and immediately entered Wen Qim's live broadcast room. Wen Qim had now changed her profession to spirit exorcist. However, she couldn't catch pets alone, and her fighting speed was too slow. Sigh, they'll only make it out of the poison fog forest in an hour. I'll go pick them up then. For now, I'd better see if there's any good equipment to buy. Solipsistic got new equipment again. Wen Qim opened the auction area. 100-flower dress. It looks pretty good. There's a faint fragrance. Strange equipment. Isn't it a normal equipment item? It's limited to female characters. I can wear it. Movement speed plus 5%, and there's a small chance of confusing the opponent. It feels pretty good. Let me try it on. Foam Lingzi's character was actually herself. She was wearing this floral dress. The wolf skin vest on her body was hidden, and the pink petals clung to her body. Lu Chen's fair neck and snow-white arms were exposed. The petals of the dress seemed to be made of natural petals, moving with the wind. It was soft and breathtaking. Wow! It's so beautiful. Wen Qim looked at her character's image and fell into narcissism. There's a faint fragrance too. It smells so good. Wen Qim couldn't help but twirl around. As she twirled, pink petals scattered around her, dancing with her. She was like a fairy. Oh my god! I love it! Wen Qim was stunned. The live broadcast room exploded in an instant. Is this fashion? It looks pretty good. Oh my god, the goddess is so beautiful. She's like a fairy. I love her. Will this effect be maintained? Wow, it's so beautiful. There's a fragrance and special effects too. I want it too. I'm going crazy with envy. It's so beautiful. I want to try it on too. There were many female viewers in the live broadcast room. Seeing this scene, they couldn't hold it in anymore and rushed to the auction area. Wen Qim covered her red face. No, I've lost my mind. I can't control myself anymore. I'll buy it too. You have bid for the 100-flower dress. The bid is 3,500 yuan. The auction ends at 0:14:42. There's still 14 minutes left. Don't fight with me. Your bid has been surpassed. The current highest bid is 3,600 yuan. The auction ends at 01439. You have bid for the 100-flower dress. The bid is 3,700 yuan. The auction ends at 01432. Your bid has been surpassed. The current highest bid is 3,800 yuan. The auction ends at 01421. Who is it? Why are they fighting with me? I'm going crazy. Winchim was really going crazy. Lu Chen was dumbfounded. What was going on? Winchim wasn't this crazy even with the poison mist suit. No, it wasn't Winchim who was crazy. It was the women who were crazy. Chapter 57. In the Punan district of Sea City, in a high-end villa, a woman rushed out from the second floor. She was in her 20s and had perfect facial features. Her long hair cascaded down her shoulders like a waterfall. Her looks were comparable to the Jotian's #1 beauty, Fengling. Their temperaments were slightly different. Fengling was like the girl next door, friendly and easygoing, while she was more like a princess, noble and noble. However, this little princess seemed unhappy. She ran to the study on the first floor, frowned, and pouted. Dad, a piece of equipment appeared in Jotian. Get your men to help me get it. In the study, a middle-aged man with gold-rimmed glasses looked up at his daughter in surprise. Qiu Ning, what's going on? What do you want the equipment for? This man was the chairman of Hongxin Group, Li Zhuguang. Hongxin Group was the financial backer of Sea City's famous gaming club, TT Club. Li Zhuguang was puzzled. For the long-term development of TT Club, the most important equipment had to be given to the top players in the guild. This was what he had told Qiu Ning. Dad, this equipment won't be of much use to them. Anyway, I don't care. I must buy this equipment. Qiu Ning walked in front of her father angrily and pulled Li Zhuguang's arm to do the pendulum exercise. Li Zhuguang was annoyed and amused by his precious daughter. However, after his daughter grew up, she rarely acted like a spoiled child in front of him. Li Zhuguang looked at his daughter lovingly. What equipment? Li Qiu Ning immediately turned on her father's computer and logged into the Jotian website. In the auction area, the most popular piece of equipment was a piece of equipment called the 100-flower dress. Dad, this is the district's #1 piece of equipment. Don't you think I look beautiful in it? Qiu Ning had already sent a video of herself trying it on to her father. Jotian characters were the same as real people. Li Zhuguang was shocked when he saw his daughter try it on. In the dress, his daughter was like a fairy, dancing gracefully. The pink petals around her danced with her steps. It was like a dream. His daughter in the camera was like a fairy, a blooming flower. She was too beautiful. Dad, this dress smells good. It smells good. Li Zhuguang frowned slightly. Li Zhuguang was very clear that one could smell things in Jotian. Li Zhuguang opened the item's information. Although the long dress didn't add any attributes, it did add 5% movement speed. It also had an interesting skill, confusion. The most important thing was that this was not a piece of equipment in the normal equipment slot, so it did not take up more slots. No wonder his daughter wanted it so much. This dress was indeed extraordinary. At present, the bidding price had reached 38,300 yuan. For ordinary people, it was already very expensive. But for people like Li Zhuguang, which one of the luxurious clothes he bought for his daughter cost less than 5 digits? As long as his daughter was happy, money was not a problem. However, it didn't seem to be a problem of money now. There were only 5 minutes left for the auction of the floral dress, and its price was still soaring. It was dropped by that guy. Li Zhuguang saw the consignor. It was solipsistic. Li Zhuguang valued Jotian very much, so he naturally knew about solipsistic. That's right, Dad. Where did this guy come from? Xiao Ning frowned. Wholesale equipment. The first to clear Zakas, the first to clear the poison fog forest, the first to clear the hidden dungeon, and now the first to drop a piece of rare equipment. You have so many people. Didn't you say they were very strong? Why aren't they as strong as him? Li Zhuguang shook his head. Don't say that. TT's guys are very professional and hardworking. As for this guy, I can only say that he's incredible. Alright, you're just afraid that it will be snatched away at the last second. I'll let Lin Sun and the others help you. Thank you Dad. Dad is the best. Fengling was about to collapse. The price of the dress had risen to 60,000 yuan. Of course, as the most popular streamer, her income was also very high. 50,000 yuan was not enough to scare her off. Whoever obtained this dress would definitely become the focus of the entire server. Gradually, she also discovered the trick of the limited time auction. The previous bids were meaningless. Only those who bid at the last second would have the last laugh. There was still 1 minute until the end of the auction. Fengling began to anxiously wait for the last moment to arrive. The price of the floral dress was fixed at 65,300 yuan. Within 20 seconds, there was no change. However, Fengling was very clear that the decisive moment was about to arrive. Everyone, don't be noisy. The last 10 seconds are crucial. Fengling's whole body was tense. 10, 9, 8. 3, 2, 1. At the last second, Fengling confirmed the bid. However, the Jiutian official website, which was known to use a super server, actually, froze. It can't be. It froze. Fengling, did you get it or not? This is too sad. It froze at the crucial moment. Fengling was so angry that she stomped her feet. Hoo, why did it have to freeze at this time? I'm so angry. 2 seconds later, the final result came out. Unfortunately, the item you bid for has been sold. Ah. Hoo, I didn't get it. In the live broadcast, a bunch of people comforted their goddess. However, there were also sharp-eyed people. Damn, it can't be. The price increased by more than 30,000 yuan at the last second. In other words, there were at least 300 people bidding for it in that second. Fuck, no wonder it froze. This is a competition of hand speed and internet speed. Fengling didn't care about the price. She only regretted that she didn't get it. Sigh, I feel so weak. It's so hard to get such a rare piece of equipment, but I didn't manage to get it. I'm so tired. Wen Qim looked listless. She was a completely different person from her previous self. It's probably Solipsistic's first time getting it. He can't wear it. If he got it before, he would have sold it long ago. Sigh. Such a beautiful dress. I've been fantasizing about wearing it everywhere. Sigh. Lu Chen was farming when he found that he had an extra email. It had been exactly 20 minutes since the floral dress was put up for sale. It was most likely a transaction message. Lu Chen stopped and opened the email. The limited time auction for the 100 flowers dress you consigned has ended. Player, Spring Dew Immortal Dance, won the bid for the 100 flowers dress at the price of 98,700 yuan. After deducting the 10% handling fee, 88,830 yuan has been transferred to your bank account. Fuck. More than 80,000 yuan. Lu Chen was stunned. That piece of equipment with no attributes was sold for almost 90,000 yuan. That was close. I almost sold it for 2,000 yuan. Who are these people? Out of curiosity, Lu Chen entered the auction area and checked the messages there. Since most people hadn't traded with Lu Chen before and he didn't add them as friends, they couldn't send an email to Lu Chen directly. They could only leave a message in the trading area. I didn't get it. I don't think I'll love it again, Mad God, can you add me as a friend? Please, praying with both hands, I'm mad, please add me as a friend. I'll wait for you online. Moi, red lips, mad God, do you still have the floral dress? If you do, can you add me as a friend? The price isn't a problem. I've already chosen to only show my ID to you. Why don't you add me as a friend? Just add me as a friend. I promise you won't regret it. Lu Chen frowned. These IDs were obviously female accounts. The floral dress special requirements meant that only female players would buy it. So many people wanted to add him as a friend for such a useless piece of clothing. Fuck, that was close. I almost sold it for 2,000 yuan. Lu Chen shook his head and mercilessly closed the official website. Chapter 58. Lu Chen looked at the money on his card. He had sold more than 100,000 yuan over the past 2 days. In addition to the 500,000 yuan from before, he now had 650,000 yuan in savings. I still have a 50,000 yuan coupon, and I can get a 30% discount. Lu Chen calculated. I can buy a house worth 1,000,000 yuan. In Rivertown, a house worth 1,000,000 yuan was enough to buy a house in the city center. Coincidentally, Zhongqing has a real estate in the city center. I'll go take a look in a few days. Lu Chen decided that he had to do a field trip this time. Returning to the game calmly, Lu Chen began the next step of evolution, fusing the 3-petal flower Demonis bloodline. Bloodline fusion completed. You've received a new talent, Inferior Succubus bloodline. Under Lu Chen's 3 talents, there was a new talent. Talent, Inferior Werewolf bloodline, Stage 4, Talent, Inferior Poisonous Spider bloodline, Stage 4, Talent, Inferior Snake bloodline, Stage 4, Talent, Inferior Succubus bloodline, Stage 0 Succubus becomes one with nature. Field vision increases by 100 meters. Immune to low-level charm type effects. Huh. What kind of talent is this? Lu Chen was a little disappointed. It did not add attack, defense, or any other special attributes. It only added vision and immunity to low-level charm type effects. It was a little useless. Speaking of which, when he fought the 3-petal flower Demonis, he did not find anything special about it. Forget it. It's just an extra ability anyway. Lu Chen had a lot of low-level materials, so he simply upgraded it to Stage 4. Talent, Inferior Succubus bloodline, Stage 4 field vision increases by 400 meters. Immune to low-level charm type effects. Next, it was Lu Chen's change in appearance. Previously, Lu Chen was half jackal, half spider, and had a snake tail. After fusing with the 3-petal flower Demonis, 2 branches grew out of Lu Chen's head. Lu Chen held his forehead. I shouldn't have fused with the flower Demonis bloodline. Well, since he was already ugly, Lu Chen did not care about this small change. 7 heads and 3 idiots were still farming. Lu Chen calculated in his mind. As more and more players rushed out of the poison fog forest, the silhouettes of players could already be seen in the low-level areas. When we came out of the secret dungeon, we were level 1. Although we didn't level up much in the past few days, our leveling speed didn't fall behind too much when we were hacking. Now that the whole party is level 14, we should be able to go and kill level 17 or 18 tiger monsters. Thinking of this, Lu Chen recalled his subordinates and headed deeper into the 100-beast mountain range. Striped tigers and giant pin-armored bears had already appeared on the road. However, Lu Chen felt that there were too few of them and that their levels were too low, so he continued to lead the team forward. Needless to say, Lu Chen's world seemed to have become a little different after his field of vision widened. He could see the distribution of monsters far away and decide his route. Why was the area in front covered in fog? I can't see anything. This area was very hidden, and there were some camouflage around it. Under normal circumstances, it was almost impossible to find. When Lu Chen had opened the map, he had not discovered this place. Could it be that the flower goblin's talent helped me find this place? Out of curiosity, Lu Chen walked to the outskirts of this area. The area in front of him was completely covered in white fog, and the visibility was estimated to be less than 10 meters. After taking another 2 steps forward, Lu Chen saw a stone tablet by the side of the road. Seeing the stone tablet, Lu Chen's heart tightened. The stone tablet had appeared twice before. One was in front of the poison fog forest, and the other was in front of the mass grave. The monsters in these 2 places were stronger than the monsters in the surroundings. The name of this place was written on the stone tablet, as well as a couplet and a sentence. Dense fog forest. Heaven and earth rotate, the 8 directions are not visible, the paths lead to a secluded place. Heaven and earth turn upside down, it is difficult to distinguish between what is real and what is false, the road leads to a lost path. Please note, once the dense fog forest is activated, it will begin to expand until a player destroys the dense fog forest's octagonal array core. Lu Chen frowned. What's going on? Is this a maze or an illusion? Is the last sentence a warning? If I go in and can't destroy the octagonal array core, the fog environment will continue to expand? The game mechanics of Jiutian determined that Lu Chen had to be cautious. If it were a normal game, mazes and illusions would not be a problem. However, Jiutian used brain-connected technology. In other words, illusions or extremely complex maps would affect the player's body. Since we're here, let's go in and take a look. Lu Chen decided to enter the dense fog forest. Just as Lu Chen stepped into the dense fog forest, the entire server made a system announcement. Player, Solipsistic, has activated the dense fog forest. Server warning, server mission activated, resist invasion. The group of people was instantly dumbfounded. What's going on? What server mission? What's that guy doing? That's not right, he activated the dense fog forest. Why did we activate the mission? When the players checked this server-wide quest in their own quest system, the entire player forum blew up. Fuck, did you see the resist invasion mission? This is playing us to death. That person quickly posted a screenshot. Mission, resist invasion, level 20 server mission, mission description. The unknown fog on the east side of the Celestial Mountain has been activated and is spreading at an extremely fast speed. After the investigation of the Celestial Mountain elders, they found that the fog is extremely harmful. It can increase the strength of wild monsters, weaken the attack power of humans, permanently corrode equipment, lower the upper limit of equipment durability, irreparable, and slow down the speed of spiritual power cultivation. Mission details: destroy the octagon formation in the dense fog forest as soon as possible. Mission reward: the person who destroys the octagon formation will receive a special reward. After the mission is completed, the entire server will receive double EXP for 10 hours. Fuck, I'm going to vomit blood. Increase the strength of wild monsters, weaken our attack power, permanently reduce the upper limit of equipment durability, slow down the speed of spiritual power cultivation. This fog is too much. Level 20 mission. The unique and righteous is level 20. Impossible. But the whole server gets double EXP for 10 hours. Fuck, if we can complete the mission, the reward will be awesome. Awesome my *SS, brother, I also want to destroy the octagon formation, but I'm still stuck in the newbie area. I'm on the Celestial Mountain, but I didn't find any dense fog forest. At this time, thousands of professional teams across the country were holding an emergency meeting at the same time. The 15 team leaders of the Thunder Guild were all asked to go offline and were sitting in the meeting room. You've all seen the invasion resistance mission, this mission. The guild leader, Liang Zhanhua, frowned. The mission reward mentioned a special reward, which was a huge temptation for any guild, but, although some of Thunder Guild members had already left the newbie village and gone to the main city to learn the mission, they had even started to organize some of the team members to level up in the 100 Beast Mountain range. But until now, none of the team members had found any dense fog forest. They had no clue about this server-wide mission. So, everyone who has passed the poisonous fog forest will form groups of 5 and search the entire poisonous fog forest. In order to raise everyone's morale, Liang Zhanbo especially mentioned that person, who was also the initiator of this server-wide mission. We have to fight for this mission. Solipsistic's level is high. At the beginning of the game, he used some unknown method to walk in front of everyone. But don't forget, we are professionals. In all the previous games, who doesn't know about Thunder Guild? This is the proof of everyone's strength. Just as the officials said, after level 10, the game really begins. We can definitely surpass him. Plus, he's only level 12 now. He can't destroy all 8 octagons by himself, so this is the best chance for us to turn the tables. Chapter 59. Before the first wave had subsided, another wave arose. Due to the early appearance of the full-service mission, the system further explained the full-service mission. Jiutian had a total of 900 beginners areas. Tianqing also allowed players to change their IP to another beginner's village, but the prerequisite was that the player had not killed any monsters above elite within 12 hours. In other words, Tianqing allowed players to change beginners' villages, but did not allow players to use this method to kill unlimited bosses. And this full-service mission directly caused Jiutian's Celestial Mountain and 100 Beast Mountain regions to be merged. The full-service Celestial Mountain and 100 Beast Mountain regions will be temporarily merged into one server. After 2 minutes, all players will be forced to go offline. The merging will last for 15 minutes. Please wait patiently. This news was like a bomb that exploded among all the players in the server. EDS Guild Club Manager, the full-service merger means that all forces will appear in one server. Immediately organize people to search for the fog forest. We must get the reward for destroying the formation I. TT Guild. Lin Sun said excitedly, "Oh my god, the full-service merger. This is a full-service mission, so the reward will definitely be extraordinary. Once the fog invades, everyone can forget about leveling up. So, all members in level 10 main cities, immediately search for the fog forest. RTS Guild Club. Without a doubt, all the top players in the server will be eyeing this mission. You must give it your all and get the reward. Tai Group, Gaming Department. This was a department specially set up for Jiutian. The chairman had personally spoken. Everyone, I have emphasized more than once the importance of your work. Don't treat Jiutian as a game, treat it as a job. You are the best of the Tai Group, our vanguard. I am very satisfied with your performance. At least until now, we have not lost to any professional teams. For this full-service mission, Solipsistic can't take all the rewards alone. As for the full-service merger, let me give you an example. It will be like the Huashan duel, where all the top players in the server will compete in one server. Heroes vying for supremacy, in the end, the winner will be the brave one. Rivertown Dragon Club. Immediately inform all the members who have passed the poison fog forest to stay up all night. Those who have returned home can stay online for now. There is no need to go to the company tomorrow. We've already discussed it with the Cloud Top Guild. This time, we'll work together. Whether or not we can get a share of the loot will affect the future development of our guild. Northern Military Vanguard Group. Li Muhua had already gathered all 67 soldiers. Everyone, I'm sure you've seen the quest. This is going to be a brutal battle. I know we're not at an advantage in terms of level and equipment, but we, the Vanguard Party, have to face it head-on. Attention, all departments. We'll be working through the night. We must find the poison fog forest. Two more of Winchim's party members followed the Rock Ghost King and YYF Guild through the poison fog forest. Winchim immediately regrouped with her party and joined the Rock Ghost King and YYF Guild. Oh my god, the entire server has merged. The whole server mission this time is too big. Fengling Z was in the team and seemed to be particularly excited. The reward for this mission will definitely not be bad. Ah. Ask the solipsistic where the poison fog forest is. Forget it. I'm not that familiar with him. He definitely won't tell me such a sensitive question. But his level shouldn't be higher than 1. We should be able to find it if we look for it in places with more monsters. The most important thing is to be careful of the other guilds. As the only person in the entire server who was in the poison fog forest, Lu Chen was not excited at all. Lu Chen shook his head. What was wrong with the system? Why didn't it tell him in advance? Why did it make him appear on the news so easily? Why did it have to be so high profile? Looking at the poison fog forest in front of him, Lu Chen felt a little strange. When he was looking from the outside, he could not see the situation inside the poison fog forest at all. But now that he was inside, he realized that there was no difference between the inside and outside. There were a lot of monsters around, but it did not seem that dangerous. Could it be the flower goblin's talent? Lu Chen was not sure. Anyway, he was waiting for the game to restart. Not long after, Lu Chen was kicked out of the game. 15 minutes later, the game could be logged in normally. However, Lu Chen was not in a hurry to enter the game. He was also very interested in this temporary server merger. He thought about how spectacular it would be when all the experts in the server were placed in the same celestial mountain. He turned on Fengling Z's live broadcast. Fengling Z had already entered the game. When Fengling Z opened her eyes, she was shocked. Oh my god, so many people. Fengling Z could not help but exclaim. It makes me feel like I was born in the novice village when the game just started. Fengling Z was not exaggerating at all. In Fengling Z's line of sight, the celestial mountain was already crowded with players. The 3 novice villages shared a level 10 main city. Originally, there were not many people in a level 10 main city. It was already not bad if there were only about 200 people. However, after the servers merged, there were at least a few thousand people in the celestial mountain. There was a sea of people, and all of them were very high level. They were all level 10, and some were even level 11. They were all well equipped and had at least 3 or 4 pieces of equipment on them. To be able to take care of these people so well, to be able to rush out of the poison fog forest among their many companions, there was no doubt that these people were the elites of the elites, the experts of the various big forces. At this moment, these experts were all gathered together. In the live broadcast room, the audience saw this scene and could not help but get excited. Wow, these are the strongest players in the country. Oh right, there is no novice protection after level 10. They won't be fighting outside, right? 10,000 people fighting, just thinking about it makes me excited. Who would be fighting outside now? They will definitely go to the poison fog forest first. Although there were a few thousand people here, in just a short moment, everyone quickly found their own organization. From these gathered IDs, one by one, the strong guilds had really surfaced. Stop looking, gather, we're leaving now. YYF Divine Light said loudly, we have a total of 55 people, we are not afraid of the other guilds, but we still have to be careful on the way. One by one, the teams left the Celestial Mountain and headed towards the 100 Beast Mountain range. The outside world generally thought that the best in the world's level would not exceed 1. After all, the experience required to level up had increased by several times compared to before, so almost everyone was heading towards the 1 leveling area. In the dense forest, the teams kept a distance from each other and carried out a carpet search of the entire area. Wow, this is spectacular! Lu Chen exclaimed. After watching the show, it was time for him to go online. He exited the official website and entered the game. He was in the fog forest. He summoned the seven-headed three idiots from the army order. After the game was rebooted, the horror of the fog forest was finally revealed. Not far in front of Lu Chen, a wave of monsters spawned. There were about 20 of them. The levels of the monsters were not high, only around level 15, but the problem was that they were at least elite monsters, and there was even a boss among them. What was different from the monsters outside was that there was an additional word behind their names, super mutated. Are they all mutated, or super mutated? Lu Chen thought for a while and said, the mission said that the fog can strengthen the monsters. I'm in the center of the fog now, so it's normal for these guys to have super mutated. Maybe because they are too strong after super mutating, their levels are only around level 15. I wonder how strong they will be after super mutating. Since it's a server-wide mission, it should be very difficult. No matter what, since he was here, Lu Chen still wanted to fight. Let's see if we can pull them out to fight. Big head, you. Lu Chen turned around and was about to plan a battle strategy when he saw Big Head's name. Not only Big Head, but even the seven-headed three idiots' names had changed. These guys actually had a word behind their names. Super mutated. He looked again and saw that there was an additional word behind his long list of names, super mutated. After his brain short-circuited for a few seconds, Lu Chen slapped his head. Damn, I almost forgot, I'm also a monster. Chapter 60. The monsters in the misty forest had mutated, including Lu Chen and his subordinates. Looking at his own attributes, Lu Chen's eyes widened. His basic attributes had doubled. Attack plus 400, defense plus 130, HP plus 10,000. Damn, my attributes have doubled after the mutation. Originally, Lu Chen was still a little afraid of these super mutated elites and bosses, but now he was suddenly full of confidence. Hee, is this the benefit of being a monster? This time, we're in the bag. Lu Chen's lips curled up slightly. I'll tank, you guys go all out. After saying that, Lu Chen led the team straight to the first wave of monsters. At the same time, the monsters also discovered Lu Chen and the others, and the two sides instantly engaged in battle. Minus 113, minus 115, minus 342, critical hit. The numbers above Lu Chen's head were densely packed. The boss had dealt a critical hit, but it only dealt around 300 HP. If it was before, Lu Chen would definitely not be able to withstand it, but now that he had 13,000 HP, a damage of 1 or 200 could not do anything to him. Lu Chen went up and clawed, and 3 numbers appeared above the head of an elite on the opposite side. Minus 743, critical hit, minus 300, poisoned, minus 300, poisoned. One attack directly dealt 1,300 HP, and that guy had around 5,000 HP, Lu Chen had directly dealt 1/4 of his HP. The seven heads attacks were not inferior at all. Minus 174, minus 142, minus 138, minus 144. The 7 people attacked at the same time, dealing around 1,000 damage. Moreover, the surrounding monsters were crazily shot by the 7 heads, and their HP was decreasing at a visible rate. Including the damage from the first attack, the 7 heads attacks, and the subsequent poison damage, one monster was gone. The only problem was that the catapults would attract other monsters. After all, Lu Chen could only attack a single target, and could not quickly pull the aggro of all the monsters. At this time, he had to rely on 3 dumb. The aggro of the catapults was very low, and 3 dumb could quickly pull the aggro of the monsters. Then, Lu Chen would take over and stabilize the monsters, ensuring that 7 kills would go all out. The coordination of the 11 people could only be described as perfect. Lu Chen's team's firepower was too strong. Even the boss could not withstand their attacks. In less than 2 minutes, the health points of the wild monsters were almost empty. After fighting for another 10 seconds, the Wolf King followed closely behind and fell to the ground with a loud crash. At the same time, the system messages quickly flooded the screen. Killed Serene Moon Silver Wolf, Level 15 Super Variant Elite. Obtained 1,250 Aura Points. Obtained 3 Class 4 Innate Fragments. Obtained 3 Class 4 Evolution Points. Killed Serene Moon Silver Wolf, Level 15 Super Variant Elite. Captured 1,250 Aura Points. Obtained 3 Grade 4 Innate Fragments. Obtained 3 4-star Evolution Points. Increased Pure Aura by 3. Killed Serene Moon Silver Wolf, Level 15 Super Variant Elite. Obtained 1,250 Aura Points. Obtained 3 Class 4 Innate Fragments. Obtained 3 Class 4 Evolution Points. Fuck, an elite dropped a 4-star material. And it's 3 times the drop rate. Lu Chen was astonished. It seemed that after the super mutation, their quality had also increased. Obtained Spiked Mace, Level 10 White. Obtained Wolfskin Shoulder Pads, Level 10 White. Obtained Wolfskin Shoulder Pads, Level 10 White. Obtained Spiked Mace, Level 10 White. These drops are exploding. Although these equipment were only worth a few hundred each and could not be compared to the more expensive equipment, there were so many of them that they were almost guaranteed to drop. Killed Serene Moon Wolf King, Level 17 Super Variant Boss. Captured 2,750 Aura Points. Obtained 3 Class 5 Innate Fragments. Obtained 3 Class 5 Evolution Points. Obtained Wolf King's Claws, Level 15 Green. Obtained item, Dark Iron Ring, Level 15 Green. Obtained Wolfskin Shoulder Pads, Level 10 White. Fuck, 2 pieces of green equipment. Lu Chen hastily checked the equipment. Wolf King's Claws, Level 15 Green, Attack Power, 22 to 38, Strength plus 16, Agility plus 21, Vitality plus 19, Increase Critical Strike Chance by 3%. Increase Critical Strike Damage by 10%. Looking at the equipment's properties, Lu Chen did not say anything and changed the broken stone. Dark Metal Ring, Level 15 Green, Attack Power, 13 to 18, Increase Critical Strike Chance by 4%. Fuck, so strong. Lu Chen did not care about his reputation anymore. He immediately opened the new equipment slot and equipped the ring. After equipping the 2 pieces of equipment, Lu Chen's critical strike chance increased from 23% to 30%. Additionally, it increased critical strike damage by 10%. Almost all of my critical strikes. Ha! In a short period of time, Lu Chen's experience had increased by 27,000. He had obtained more than 20 pieces of equipment and had also exchanged for 2 pieces of level 15 equipment. Fuck, this is a leveling paradise. Lu Chen took a deep breath, so the dense fog forest is also a place to give benefits. No. For players, the dense fog forest should be very scary. Monsters have mutated and my strength has decreased. Whatever, I don't care. Anyways, I am very happy here. Lu Chen thought for a bit and decided to put the equipment in the market. Right now, there are so many people outside. They need equipment right now. My little white equipment should sell well. The value of an item was determined by the market. Since there were a lot of people who needed new equipment, Lu Chen raised the price slightly when he marked the price. The spiked mace was priced at 800, and the wolfskin shoulder guard was priced at 300. I don't know if I can sell them. Who cares, I'll put them up first. After putting on the equipment, Lu Chen went back into battle. With my enhanced vision, it is not hard to find a few waves of monsters. Lu Chen frowned slightly, but if I run around like this, it doesn't seem very efficient. Coincidentally, there was a high ground in front of him. Lu Chen ran to the high ground and observed the situation around him. After looking around, Lu Chen found more than 10 waves of monsters. He marked these locations on his personal map. Alright, let's follow this route and clear them all in one round. Thunder Guild's assistants, Lorita and Fructose, were paying close attention to the market. Boss had already told them that after the merging of the servers, there might be a fight. Now that everyone did not have the newbie protection, they would drop their equipment if they died. Even if they were wearing the equipment, they might drop it if they were unlucky. Moreover, no one could predict the outcome of this server-wide quest. If the fog was not controlled, then the fog would corrode equipment. The management had already said that they had to be fully prepared. Even if the price was higher, they had to find a way to stock up. The market is full of low-level equipment. We don't need them anymore. Lorita leaned on Fructose's shoulder and said in a bored tone. Fructose patted her friend's head. Yeah, even if the guild gets to level 10 equipment, they would give it to their own members first. Who would sell it? Oh right, Solipsistic doesn't seem to be doing much recently. Yeah, other than selling a batch of level 10 equipment and that flower dress, he hasn't sold any equipment in a long time. Speaking of that dress, it was sold for 100,000 yuan. It might be from a secret dungeon. Anyway, no one else has gotten it from other places. At this moment, a batch of equipment appeared on the market one after another. Spiked mace, wolf skin vest, they were all level 10 equipment. Lorita hurriedly sat up. Aya, that guy has dropped equipment again. The price is more expensive than before. It's okay, it's still within the acceptable range. Boss said that even if the price is higher, we have to stock up. Hurry up and snatch it. The two of them occupied the market. Whenever an item was refreshed, they would snatch it. Even so, the chances of snatching it were not high. No, we didn't manage to snatch it again. There are so many people snatching it. Ignore them, hurry up and snatch it. Chapter 61. After the second wave of monsters, Lu Chen opened the trading post and found that his items had all been bought. He looked at the time of purchase. It was even faster than the last time when the price was lower. They were all bought in seconds. Looks like many teams need a lot of equipment for this server-wide quest. If that's the case, wouldn't it be a waste if I don't take the opportunity to earn some money? Lu Chen set the price of his spiked mace at 1,000 and his shoulder pads at 500. This price should be about right. After all, these equipment were dropped by monsters outside. Now, these teams had the ability to kill monsters outside. However, they urgently needed it now. Lu Chen thought about how he could earn at least 10,000 from this wave of monsters, not including the equipment dropped by the boss. Brothers, we've earned 15,000 in 5 minutes. Let's go. At the same time, the player army was looking for the entrance to the fog forest in the 100 Beast Mountain range. Strange, where is the fog forest? There are so many people and no one has found it. Could it be that someone has already entered? Impossible, there are so many teams. Once a team enters the fog forest, the surrounding teams will definitely notice. But it's been a few hours. We've searched from the level 1 area to the level 15 area. We haven't seen anything. Just as everyone was wondering what was going on, someone suddenly said, Lone Tyrant couldn't have gone to a higher ranked place, right? Higher level. Solipsistic wasn't in the level 15 area. Thunderclap's leader, Thunderous Howl, shook his head. Impossible, when he discovered the secret dungeon, he was only level 12. Even if he doesn't go offline for 24 hours, he can't be higher than level 15. Thunderous Howl said, but solipsistic strength. Maybe he can fight higher level monsters. I know. But the value of fighting higher level monsters might not be higher than fighting lower level monsters. Also, didn't you notice that Solipsistic has been selling his goods crazily while we're looking for the fog forest? I know, he calculated that we need the equipment and almost doubled the price. But he's selling the equipment dropped by the Dark Moon's silver wolves. That means he's still nearby. It had to be said that Lei Xiaotian knew how to grasp any details. Lu Chen really didn't go far, but the entrance to the fog forest seemed to be blocked by an illusion. When players reached a higher level, they would grasp more cultivation techniques. Among them, there was no lack of cultivation techniques that could allow players to see through basic disguises. However, players had only recently entered a level 10 main city, so they did not possess such cultivation techniques. Lu Chen had only discovered the cave by chance after obtaining the Flower Demon's bloodline. It was no wonder that this mission was defined as a level 20 mission. At the current level, it was almost impossible to discover. Just as everyone was feeling confused, someone suddenly exclaimed not far away. "Look, there's mist over there." Lei Xiaotian looked towards the source of the sound. Indeed, there was a large amount of fog surging over from the valley on the east side of the player army. Where did this fog come from? Didn't we go over there to take a look? There's no way out, Thunderous Howl said with a frown. At this moment, the system sent out a server-wide announcement. Player Solipsistic has entered the southeast eye of the formation. Fog is spreading faster. Damn, Solipsistic has found a formation eye. Don't worry, just because he can find the formation eye doesn't mean he can defeat it. Yeah, this is a level 20 mission, and it's a server-wide mission. You can imagine how difficult it is. Everyone, don't worry, the fog is coming from that direction. The fog forest is over there. Lu Chen had already cleared 20 waves of monsters. His bank account had almost 300,000 yuan. Moreover, all 10 of his subordinates had changed into boss equipment. He also had 9 Wolf King Claws and the Ghost Iron Ring. He did not sell these 2 items for now. With so many people snatching the mission from him, he did not intend to let them take advantage of him. At this moment, there was a huge stone pillar in front of Lu Chen. It was 7 to 8 meters tall. At the top of the stone pillar, a ball of flame was burning. This is the southeast eye of the octagon formation, right? Lu Chen circled the formation eye a few times. How do I do this? Do I just destroy the stone pillar? Lu Chen asked Big Head to try attacking the stone pillar. The next moment, a giant beast suddenly appeared in front of the stone pillar. This giant beast was shaped like a fierce tiger. It had a bloody mouth and a pair of wings. It looked extremely powerful. On top of its head was written, Qiong Chi's Soul Remnant, level 20. When the tiger saw Big Head attacking the stone pillar, it went up and clawed. To be precise, it clawed twice. This guy had a combo attack talent. -12551286. Seeing the damage, Lu Chen could not help but take a deep breath. A wave of attacks had taken away half of Big Head's health. One had to know that Big Head was now a super mutated monster. If he had not mutated, he would have been instantly killed. Fuck, it's too strong. I'll tank it first, you guys retreat first. Lu Chen hurriedly rushed over to attack. In front of the Qiong Chi's Soul Remnant, the guy's attack speed was even faster than Lu Chen's. -10891122. Against Lu Chen's high physical defense, the Qiong Chi's Soul Remnant was already in the thousands. Lu Chen endured the damage and stabbed with his leg. -1, -300, poisoned, -300, poisoned. Fuck, I can't break through its defense with 500 attacks. Lu Chen was shocked. The Qiong Chi's Soul Remnant's health had reached a terrifying 100,000. Fuck this. 100,000 health. Lu Chen did not dare to think about anything else. He focused 120% on dealing with the Qiong Chi's Soul Remnant. Right, 7 heads, try using your spiritual attack. -14, -14, -14. 7 heads' physical attack was not as good as Lu Chen's, but its spiritual attack was not low. It had 14 points, so all the damage was dealt. Lu Chen's brain was working very fast. This guy seems to have high physical defense and attack, but it's afraid of spiritual attack. If other players were to fight it, they would have to use spiritual attack to kill it. My spiritual attack is only 8 points, but my poison effect is still very obvious. But this guy's attack speed is too fast. If I hit it once, it would take 2000 damage. My 10,000 health can't even take a few hits from it. This Cheong Chi's soul remnant was definitely the most terrifying boss Lu Chen had ever encountered. Even if it was a super mutated monster, it was almost impossible to defeat it. A full server quest was indeed not a joke. It was almost impossible to solo it. Lu Chen saw the Cheong Chi's soul remnant pouncing over and hurriedly used web entanglement to temporarily control it. My poison can deal a total of 4000 damage. Including its HP regeneration, I can definitely kill it after 30 hits. It's not like we can't fight it if we let the 7-headed 3 idiots tank it a few times, but the margin for error is too low. Alright, then I'll give it a good fight. Lu Chen finally decided to awaken. He stared at the Cheong Chi's soul remnant. This time I'm serious. Chapter 62. There was a reason why Lu Yi chose to work in the gaming club. Lu Yi was influenced by her brother. In the era where competitive gaming was popular, Lu Chen, who was only 17 or 18 years old, relied on his insane skills to become the king of the passers-by. At that time, Lu Chen did not have any skills. He relied on boosting to earn money so that the siblings could live a better life. He even dreamed that if he had the chance, he would realize his value through esports. However, fate seemed to have played a joke on Lu Chen. After that, the esports market went downhill. The number of people looking for Lu Chen to boost became fewer and fewer. Lu Chen had no choice but to work. With the appearance of Jiutian, all the other games in the market were sentenced to death. However, there were similarities between games. It was not the first time Lu Chen encountered danger, but he always reacted calmly. This was inseparable from his esports foundation. This time, when he faced the strongest opponent in history, his dormant passion was awakened once again. Big head, hold it. After being hit by Cheong Chi's claws, the two heads lost more than half of their health. Lu Chen attacked at the right time, using poison and pulling back the aggro. Big head, take some potions to recover your health. Lu Chen said as he pulled away. Web entanglement. The longer he could control it, the better it was to buy time for Big Head to recover his health. 7 seconds later, Cheong Chi broke free from the web and pounced on Lu Chen. He could not let this guy get close. Even if this guy attacked him one more time, it would mean that this strategy would be in a hopeless situation. Cheong Chi's speed was surprisingly fast, even faster than Lu Chen. Lu Chen had to rely on underground travel to change directions continuously to pull away. Stand still, I'll run around you. Lu Chen ordered. The 7 heads and 3 idiots did not attract any aggro. Cheong Chi only had eyes for Lu Chen. This made the 10 subordinates a natural barrier. After the first poisoning effect disappeared, Lu Chen ran with Cheong Chi for a while. 2 heads, use your spiritual energy to attack and pull back the aggro. A moment later, Cheong Chi abandoned Lu Chen and rushed towards second head. Lu Chen quickly turned around and followed closely behind. 2 claws, 2 heads and half HP. Lu Chen arrived in time and poisoned Cheong Chi again. Second head, let's go. Lu Chen was once again in danger. He quickly retreated, using his positioning to widen the distance between them. Even though the blue circle only lasted for a few seconds, the time it took for Cheong Chi to move around was several times longer than the time it took to attack. Furthermore, there must be no mistakes in the process. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, the player army was marching towards the source of the fog. My stamina is dropping so fast. This fog is affecting us greatly. My attributes have decreased by a quarter. It said that the durability of the equipment will also drop. Damn, that's crazy. Just as everyone was discussing, a black mass suddenly appeared in front of everyone. Upon closer inspection, one would quickly discover that this large area was actually filled with black, dark moon silver wolves. Not good, it's a silver ghost wolf. Level 14 wild monster. What's going on? Why are they all mutated? There are guards here. The entrance must be behind. Everyone, prepare for a team battle. Don't panic, maintain the formation. Talisman Array Masters, use Iron Bastion. Talisman Array Masters were one of the 9 major professions, and their main profession was Talisman Array Masters. Perhaps because of the different professions, Talisman Array Masters could directly learn their first skill, Iron Bastion, in the Talisman Array Master Academy after entering a level 10 main city. This skill could increase the physical defense of the team. Even though its level was relatively low and could only increase physical defense by 20 points, it was better than nothing. Every team had their own Talisman Array Master. In an instant, rays of golden light flashed in the human army. Talisman papers flew into the air and exploded in the air, forming a metal shield that disappeared in an instant. Everyone in the team had already received the plus 20 physical defense buff. When the Dark Moon Silver Wolves saw that there were enemies invading, they rushed over like a black tide. All the teams quickly opened up a defensive line to defend against the attacks of the Dark Moon Silver Wolves. The vanguard team of the Northern Army was closer to the front and was the first to engage the wolves. Damn, why is their attack so high? Captain, their attack is 50% higher than the monsters outside. I know, drink your potions. Prepare to switch to the second team. The other teams, help to focus fire. Their defense is also high, and their HP is obviously higher too. Are these normal monsters or elite monsters? The monsters' attributes were increased, while the players' attributes were decreased. Moreover, the wolves here were all level 14. Their levels were already high, so everyone instantly felt a huge pressure. Li Muhua's eyes were about to burst. If his team was wiped out by the wolves, they would die and return to the Celestial Mountain. The reason why they could come so easily before was mainly because they had more people. If they died, it would be very difficult to reach here. Moreover, what if they missed the entrance to the poison fog forest? The team could not be wiped out. Hey, you Shu Mountain people, stop watching. If we are wiped out, you won't be able to escape either. Li Muhua shouted at the Shu Mountain Guild behind him. The Shu Mountain Guild's leader's ID was Shu Mountain Drunken Immortal. He frowned and looked around. The teams in the first row were all in a tough battle. They were only relying on everyone's skills and awareness to barely not be defeated. If this dragged on, no one would be able to hold on. In the end, they would become the new front row. The ruthless people were right. At this time, they were intimately interdependent. They could not be calculative. Got it. Shu Mountain's Drunken Immortal shouted. Shu Mountain people, pay attention. Prepare for a team battle. The 90s guild behind Shu Mountain, Red Flame, and other guilds joined the battle. In order to enter the poison fog forest, everyone must fight against the wolves together. Pull the line apart, or there will be no space to move. Those without HP, use potions. Talisman Masters, mend the iron walls. In Feng Lingzi's live broadcast room, there were more than 10 million people watching this battle. Seeing these top experts fighting against the wolf pack, everyone couldn't help but feel their hearts rise to their throats. Damn, this is even scarier than a 10,000-man team battle. Those wolves have mutated and become so strong. Not only have the monsters become stronger, but our players' attributes will also decrease in the poison fog. This is the most troublesome thing. Can these people fight their way through, if they can't, then no one can. They are all professional players, and their levels and equipment are the best in the country. I don't think I've heard of a full server quest before. Damn, it's all because of Solipsistic. If the poison fog really spreads to the Celestial Mountain, how are we going to play in the future? Right, where's Solipsistic? It's been 1.5 hours. Why is there no news at all? No matter how strong their attributes are, they can't survive in the poison fog. Look at the nearly 10,000 people here. They are the best players in the country, but they are also in a tough battle. Just as people were discussing, a system announcement suddenly appeared on Fenglingzi's screen. Player Solipsistic has successfully destroyed the Southeast Array Core. Obtained the title, Head of the Pack. As soon as the news came out, a few people on the battlefield died and returned to the Celestial Mountain. The live broadcast room suddenly fell silent for 2 seconds. Chapter 63. After 1.5 hours of extreme operation, Lu Chen finally killed the Qiongqi remnant soul. The Qiongqi directly turned into a ray of light and disappeared. Lu Chen sat on the ground, panting heavily as he rested on the side. The operation just now was really too tiring. He had been tense for 1.5 hours, and his energy had been greatly depleted. His 10 subordinates and himself were all at red blood, and he could take this opportunity to recover. After a while, Lu Chen came back to his senses and walked to the stone pillar. The Qiongqi remnant's corpse just now disappeared directly. It did not drop any items, not even experience. However, the flames on the stone pillar had been extinguished, and the entire stone pillar was now faintly glowing. The mystery should not be in the Qiongqi, but in this stone pillar. Where's the promised reward? Lu Chen tried to touch the stone pillar with his hand. A strong light burst out, and then the huge stone pillar shrank from 7 to 8 meters until it could be held in his hand. Brave warrior, you have defeated the Qiongqi remnant soul. Please choose your reward from the following options. 1. Qiongqi Soul Essence Fragment. You can summon a powerful illusory Qiongqi Guardian Spirit to fight for you. The duration and the Guardian Spirit's combat power will become stronger as your spiritual power grows. 2. Qiongqi Cub. Summon a Qiongqi Cub. The Qiongqi Cub is the weakest of the other cubs, and it is very easy to be attacked by other creatures. Its growth requires more effort. Lu Chen frowned. This was the reward for this mission. A Qiongqi. However, before that, he still had to make a choice. How should I choose? The first option was to summon an illusory Qiongqi. It could be very strong from the start and have a certain growth potential, but there was a time limit. The second option was similar to the Beast Kings in the Spirit Controller world. It was an ordinary Qiongqi baby that needed to be raised from a cub to an adult. If he chose this reward, he did not need to worry about the time limit. The first reward is immediate, and the second requires time. Lu Chen was a little conflicted. After careful consideration, Lu Chen decided. Choose the second option. I don't like those with a time limit. Lu Chen said to the 7 kills and 3 idiots. You guys will help me raise them anyway, right? Without teammates, he could only share his thoughts with 7 kills and 3 dumb. You have chosen reward 2. You have received a cub of Qiongqi. Transparent ribbons were extracted from the surrounding air and gathered in front of Lu Chen. Gradually, they formed bones, flesh, and skin. A small creature appeared in front of Lu Chen. Seeing this little thing, Lu Chen was a little depressed. The previous boss was 5 to 6 meters tall. It was huge and had a pair of wings, looking majestic. And this little guy in front of him. How was this Qiongqi? It was clearly a furry husky. His eyes were round, and he looked around in fear. His body was covered in white fur, and his short limbs were trembling as he stood there. Carelessly losing his balance, the little guy fell on his butt on the grass, making a "ao-ao" sound from his mouth, his voice childish. "It can't be, this cub is too small." Lu Chen looked depressed. "Little guy, where are your wings? A Cheong-chi should be more like a tiger. Why do you look more like a puppy? You should at least leave some features so that I can be sure that you are a Cheong-chi and not a husky." "Ao-ao," the little guy let out two "ao-ao" sounds and struggled to get up. He wobbled to Lu Chen's feet and rubbed his head against it. "Hiss!" Lu Chen sucked in a breath of cold air. Was this cute little guy really a Cheong-chi? If he brought it out, who would believe that it was a Cheong-chi? Forget it, the system probably wouldn't lie to him. Lu Chen bent down and picked up the little guy. Speaking of which, this little guy was really cute. Even Lu Chen was about to fall over because of this little guy's cuteness. Alright. Only when you raise a child will you have feelings, right, little guy?" Lu Chen held the little Cheong-chi. "I'll call you Xiao Bai from now on." He didn't know whether the little guy liked this name or not. After hearing Lu Chen's words, the little guy widened his round eyes and boldly howled towards the sky. As a result, the two howls that came out were still so childish and not scary at all. Lu Chen touched Xiao Bai. It felt exactly the same as in real life. His hand even had some of the little guy's warmth. "Alright, let me see your attributes. Character, Cheong-chi, level 0, maximum level 10 in juvenile stage, growth, 0/100000, pure spiritual energy, 0/100000, blood demon type soul essence." This guy actually ate pure spiritual energy, and the first stage required 100,000 pure spiritual energy. Lu Chen couldn't help but sigh. Raising a Cheong-chi was really not something an ordinary person could bear. Just with 100,000 pure spiritual energy, it would take 70 days without eating or drinking. However, Lu Chen didn't complain this time. After all, Cheong-chi wasn't an ordinary monster. It was impossible to raise it without some effort. If there really was a cultivation world, it would be normal to raise a Cheong-chi and use all the power of a family or sect. In that case, Lu Chen had nothing to complain about with this Jiutian setting. However, what the hell was this blood demon type soul essence? Xiao Bai's growth seemed to require it to kill this kind of monster. Forget it, I'll encounter it in the future. I'll just continue reading for now. Physical strength, 1, agility, 1, physique, 1, attack, 1, defense, 0, health, 100, talent. Sealed. Not only was the talent sealed, but the equipment slot was also completely sealed. It couldn't be opened even with reputation. Ordinary monsters have equipment slots. It's impossible that Cheong-chi doesn't have any. Lu Chen thought. Maybe it needs to grow to a certain stage before it can be opened. From the data, the system didn't lie to him. Cheong-chi was indeed weaker than ordinary monsters. Not only could he not fight it, but the system also said that this little thing would easily provoke other monsters. After all, eating a Cheong-chi should be something to be proud of. Anyway, Lu Chen had already mentally prepared himself. He didn't plan to let Xiao Bai participate in the battle now. Lu Chen looked at Xiao Bai in his arms and smiled. "Little guy, don't worry. I'll raise you." Finally, the first formation core was settled. Lu Chen hugged the little guy and let out a long sigh. 1 down, 7 to go. 7 heads, 3 idiots, let's go. Hurry up and earn more money. Outside the entrance of the fog forest, the battle between humans and wolves had reached its climax. These humans were indeed the best of the best. Their control, awareness, and positioning were all extremely professional. The various commanders also displayed their powerful commanding skills. Team 7, support. Team 3, retreat and resupply. Old Chen, hold back your 2 wolves. Don't let them run around. Talisman Master buff. If you distract me again, don't stay in the same group. Even the audience watching the live broadcast felt their blood boiling. Damn, this is too satisfying. I also want to fight over there. These monsters have a high equipment drop rate. Haha, this time solipsistic's equipment won't be able to be sold. Let's quickly kill these wolves. We want to see what the fog forest looks like. We want to see what the reward for the server quest is. Facing the wolves whose attributes were much higher than their own, the human players relied on their advantage in numbers and exquisite teamwork. They gradually stabilized their position and quickly took control of the situation. Now, they had turned the tide of the battle. However, just as everyone was starting to see hope, a system message suddenly popped up and hit everyone in the head. Player Solipsistic has entered the Southern Formation core area. Fog is spreading faster. Chapter 64. Fuck, that guy found the second formation eye. Not good, we don't have much time left. Everyone, let's work harder, or the rewards will be taken by that guy. Fuck, there are so many of us. Can't we beat him alone? Brothers, don't worry. That guy took more than an hour to destroy the formation eye last time. We still have time. The system announcement was like a shot in the arm. The players' eyes turned red as they vented their anger on the wolves. An hour later, the remaining wolves were finally killed. After a short rest, the human army rushed to the back of the wolves. They had explored this area before, but they didn't find anything unusual. However, when they came again this time, they didn't know when a huge chaos gate had appeared in the valley. We're finally out. It's the fog forest. All teams, prepare to enter the dungeon. Previously, everyone had to work together to deal with the wolves. However, now that the fog forest was right in front of them, the competition between the teams was revealed. All the teams fought to be the first to rush through the door. The Iron Blood Guild also rushed through the door. However, when they entered the door, Li Muhua realized that the other teams had disappeared. Looks like they were teleported to different locations, Li Muhua guessed. That's good too. Everyone, remember this. We fought the wolves together outside, but when it comes to snatching the quest, it might not be the same. Yes, boss, we know. Since there was no one else here, Li Muhua did not need to worry. He observed his surroundings. It was foggy, and the visibility was less than 5 meters. Also, after entering the fog forest, their attributes were reduced by 10%. This place is not simple. Li Mu said, everyone, follow me. I suspect that the monsters here are stronger than outside. At that moment, there was a scream not far away. Watch your position. Damn it, I told you not to pull other monsters. Li Muhua and Lu Xuejuan looked at each other and frowned. Let's go take a look. About 40 to 50 meters away from the Iron Blood Guild, a team was fighting with 4 to 5 Dark Moon Silver Wolves. When they got closer, Li Muhua and the others realized that the words, super mutated, were written on the Dark Moon Silver Wolves' heads. Fuck, boss, the monsters inside are stronger. Lu Xuejuan said. No, there's a group of monsters beside them. They pulled out 5 of them to fight. Little Deng, go and scout out the other party's situation. Oh right, take a look at how many monsters are there. One of the team members quickly went to scout alone. Not long after, he came back and reported, battalion. No, boss, that's the joint guild of paladins and black demons. They have a total of 47 people and a total of 20 wild monsters. 19 of them are level 15 super mutated elite spirit wolves and 1 is level 17 wolf king. Li Muhua nodded and frowned. At the very least, they are elites, boss, what do you mean? Lu Xuejuan asked. Li Muhua pondered for a moment. Based on the strength of these monsters, the paladins and black demons would not be a match for them, of course, the predators were no match for the wild monsters. However, the question now was whether there was a need to join forces with them. After pondering for a moment, Li Muhua said, "The wild monsters here are already so strong. There must be an even stronger boss in the center of the formation. Let's go and join forces with them. Crown Prince, the joint guild of Buried Love and Sweep the World has lured monsters. There are about 70 of them. There are 20 wild monsters over there, one level 17 boss and the rest are level 15 elites." The Dynasty Grand Commandant reported to Crown Prince. Crown Prince scoffed. "Ignore them. Let them hold back the wild monsters. We'll go straight to the center of the formation. Crown Prince is right. If someone dies now, it will be too difficult for them to come back alone. We have to try our best to avoid casualties. Finding the center of the formation is more important," Dynasty Elder Jiu said. In the misty forest, visibility was extremely low. Many teams encountered groups of wild monsters as soon as they entered and were unable to escape. As for the other teams, they adopted different strategies. Some chose to form an alliance while others chose to search for the center of the formation. Player Solipsistic successfully destroyed the South Formation Core. Remaining formation cores, 6. Fuck, this guy got another one. Crown Prince clenched his teeth and said, "There are only 6 left. Hurry up." Lu Chen had just finished off the boss of the South Formation Core. The one guarding the South Formation Core was the Fire Kirin's sole remnant. It was covered in flames and its physical attack was lower than Qiong Qi's. However, its attacks were accompanied by fire. Fire was considered a type of spiritual attack. Lu Chen did not have any spiritual defense yet. When he faced the Fire Kirin's attacks, the damage he received was higher than Qiong Qi's. Fortunately, this guy's health points were lower. After fighting the Fire Kirin for more than an hour, it finally died. Lu Chen leaned against the stone pillar and panted. 2 consecutive battles that were extremely exhausting made him exhausted. "I'll choose reward number 2, Lu Chen said weakly. "Anyway, raising 1 is the same as raising 2. From Lu Chen's point of view, even if reward number 1 could greatly increase his combat strength in a short period of time, he could not accept the fact that there was a time limit. Since he would be playing for a long time in the future, he might as well spend more time to obtain a permanent battle pet. Moreover, the ones he killed were the mythological beast remnant souls. What he raised was a real mythological beast. The surrounding spiritual energy turned into a small red furball. Its appearance was not even as good as Little White. It was probably a Chinese rural dog. The little guy opened its mouth and barked twice. Ao ao. Just like Little White, it had a childish voice. Lu Chen glanced at the attributes of Little Red. It was like a copy of Little White. Its combat strength was 1. The Fire Kirin focused on spiritual fire attacks while Little White focused on physical attacks. However, the two were still too young. They might have to wait until they grew up in the future to gradually widen the gap between their attributes. Lu Chen picked up the little guy and put him together with Xiao Bai. The 2 little guys immediately wrestled with each other, neither giving way to the other. Looking at the clumsy wrestling skills of the 2 little guys, there was no sign of a fight between mythological beasts. "Don't fight." Lu Chen held one in each hand and separated the 2 little guys. "You 2 are partners in the future." Little White and Little Red did not listen at all. With Lu Chen pinching the back of their necks, they continued to wave their little claws in the air. All right. Fight, fight. Just don't hurt each other." Lu Chen smiled and shook his head. Fangzheng and Little White were both trash with a combat strength of 1. They probably would not be able to tell who was better after a long time. After getting the 2 rewards, Lu Chen planned to rest for a while and prepare to go to the next place. The boss here is too strong, but the rewards are okay. Lu Chen checked his and his subordinates' backpacks. Not good, the healing medicine is almost gone. Without the healing medicine, Lu Chen might not dare to kill the boss here. Fuck. It's so annoying to not have anywhere to buy medicine. Lu Chen was depressed. At this moment, perhaps because he was too tired, he did not notice. More than 100 people suddenly appeared behind the three idiots. From the IDs, this was a joint team formed by 5 guilds. Dragon Scale, Celestial Bane, Fong Tai Group, North Mountain University, and Sky Dome. However, the other party seemed to only see the 3 idiots and not the situation on their side. Why are there gnolls here? Who knows? Everyone, be careful. Don't attract monsters. Look above. Do you see anything there? Lu Chen was now more than 3 meters tall. In the eyes of the players, he was a giant. However, the players did not seem to see Lu Chen, but the words above his head. His name was so long that they saw his name first before they saw him. I can't see what the words are, but it seems to be purple. It's a boss. There's a boss over there. Don't worry, the visibility here is low. Let's go around it. Lu Chen frowned slightly. Was the visibility very low? He could see it clearly. The players had already entered the fog forest. They came quite quickly. They seemed to be affected by the fog forest. Their vision was blocked, and they could only see a few meters in front of them. Looking at such a majestic group carefully bypassing the 3 idiots in an attempt to slip away, a sinister smile appeared on Lu Chen's face. Since that was the case, he might as well kill them. Chapter 65. More than 100 people carefully circled around the 3 idiots and retreated silently. All of this happened under Lu Chen's gaze. Lu Chen immediately signaled the 7 heads and 3 idiots to get to work. The 7 heads began to play a ping-pong game among the crowd. Fuck, who lured the monsters? Fuck, what kind of attack is this? My HP is dropping so fast. Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Some people kept shouting, trying to maintain the formation. However, in the face of the 7 heads' sudden attack, how could they not panic? Another advantage of ejecting was that in the fog, people could not see the 7 heads' trajectory at all. If they could not see the trajectory, they would not be able to pinpoint the monster's location. Retreat, retreat. Run as many as you can. The commander shouted at the top of his lungs. Right at this moment, a spider web flew out of nowhere and trapped him. Those terrifying attacks were launched at the same time. The commander did not even have time to drink his potions and received his lunchbox within 2 seconds. Once the commander fell, the motley crew became even more chaotic. No, we're going to be wiped out. Whatever, Celestial Dynasty, follow me. Celestial Dynasty in troubled times shouted and launched the final attack. However, just as they ran a few steps, they saw a huge monster appear in front of them. When they looked up, they could not help but feel their hearts tighten. Oh my god, what kind of boss is this? The monster in front of them had the upper body of a gnoll, 8 spider legs, a huge green snake tail behind it, and wooden horns on its head. Its head was golden, and its name was purple. However, the name was too long, so they could not see the whole thing. They could only see, especially strong, especially agile. Could this be the boss of the fog forest? It's too scary. Lu Chen kicked the guy, and his HP dropped to 0. 2 seconds after the poison took effect, he died on the spot. Fuck, this boss is too strong. The leader was insta-killed. It's over, we're definitely going to be wiped out this time. In just a few minutes, the 114 people in the joint team were all killed by an unknown AoE. In addition, the giant boss's poisonous claws were also killed. After the team was wiped out, Lu Chen quickly collected the healing potions. Oh, so many? Lu Chen was surprised. 7 to 8 bottles of healing potions were looted from each corpse, and some even had more than 10 bottles. It seemed that they had prepared a lot of potions for the fog forest. Huh? And dropped equipment? Lu Chen picked up a piece of gravel, and after thinking about it carefully, he suddenly realized. Those players who had reached level 11 had already passed the newbie protection period. They would drop their equipment. Not bad, not bad, not bad. After this trip, Lu Chen obtained more than 800 bottles of healing potions and 4 or 5 pieces of equipment. If he sold them all, he could sell them for 1 or 2,000 yuan. The loot from killing players isn't bad either, especially the healing potions. I can't go to the Immortal Mountain to buy them, so I can only rely on killing players. Xuan Xian's is Xian, he is asterisk be asterisk along the way. Lu Chen encountered 7 to 8 teams with 30 to 60 people. Lu Chen killed all of them. Lu Chen estimated that he was not far from the southwest formation I. At that moment, he received a system notification. Player, Holy Scorching Sun, has entered the southwest formation I. Player, Dynasty Prince, has entered the west formation I. Player, Bloodborne Assassin King, has entered the northwest formation I. Many players had entered the various formation Is. Lu Chen saw a giant stone pillar not far away. It was in the southwest direction, and he was not far from the southwest formation I. Let's go there first. Although the system only said that Holy Scorching Sun had entered the formation I, there were at least 300 players in the southwest formation I. From the IDs, there were at least 5 or 6 teams. Holy Scorching Sun should be the first to enter this area. At that moment, they were fighting a giant beast. It had a pair of giant wings, a body like a lion, and a face like a dragon or a turtle. It's a chaos remnant. Lu Chen lurked at the side. The battlefield was currently in chaos. With a single slap from this guy, more than 20 players had died. Damn, is it a split attack? Lu Chen was shocked. I like this talent. The commanders on the battlefield reacted immediately and shouted, the boss is splitting. Everyone, spread out. His damage is about 2,000. Tank team, pay attention to pulling aggro. Remember, don't take it head on. Run with the boss. Vision is bad. Secondary tank, pay attention. Everyone else, don't OT. OT, aggro out of control, talisman master, use your skills. Make sure the tanks don't get killed. After their attributes were reduced by 30%, those with more than 2000 HP were the core of the team. More than 300 people quickly moved. The tanks pulled aggro, and the others took the opportunity to deal damage. Lu Chen nodded slightly. The level of this group of people was really good. More than 300 people, not a team, but they could quickly form a team. Moreover, their vision was very poor in the misty forest, and they could perfectly avoid the boss attacks. Everyone was very accurate in their positioning, especially the main tank called Holy Fire Shield Mountain. His aggro control was very stable. Once chaos turned around, he would quickly return to deal damage and then run circles with the boss. As expected of a professional player. This kind of operation, awareness, and coordination were much better than the average player. Physical attacks won't work. Everyone, try using spiritual attacks. The commander, Holy Fire Scorching Sun, shouted. Holy Fire seemed to be very strong. Holy Fire Shield Mountain's performance had convinced many people. The other guilds also temporarily listened to Holy Fire Scorching Sun's command. The commander has found a way. These people are really good. Lu Chen nodded. In the national server, the experts were still very strong. With more than 300 people, their speed was actually faster than Lu Chen's team. However, Lu Chen was not in a hurry to act. He found a hidden place to observe and rest. We've fought 2 bosses in a row. Let's take a break. During the break, Lu Chen opened the official website. In the most popular live stream rooms, all of them were fighting the formation cores. From these live streams, it could be seen that the fastest was the formation core in the north. There were about 700 to 800 people killing the boss, Water Kirin Soul Remnant. Next was the formation core in the northeast. There were more than 400 people killing the boss, Tao Tai Soul Remnant. Other than that, there was the Swanee Soul Remnant in the northwest, the Fire Swanee Soul Remnant in the west, and the Water Kirin Soul Remnant in the east. Including Lu Chen's Fire Kirin and Cheongqi, there were a total of 8 dire beasts here. 8 directions. The Fire Kirin and Swanee Soul Remnant are in the north, south, east, and west respectively. The other 4 directions are guarded by the 4 great ancient dire beasts. I don't know if I can get all 8. If I can't, I'll try my best to get the 4 great ancient dire beasts. The 4 great ancient dire beasts were Cheongqi, Tao Tai, Swanee, and Chaos. Lu Chen had Cheongqi and Chaos in front of him. As long as he could get Tao Tai and Swanee, he would be complete. It would be good to get all the 4 great ancient dire beasts, not to mention he had a Fire Kirin. It was already 1:00 in the morning, but the total number of viewers in the major live streaming channels had exceeded 100 million. The server-wide mission this time attracted a large number of viewers. They were not qualified to participate in the competition for the time being, but they could see the operation of the top players in the country. Seeing this rare scene, they could not help but feel their blood boiling. The operation of this group of people is really awesome. It's so exciting. They're real professional players. What can they drop? Damn it, these are the Divine Beast Soul Remnants. How sick would the real Divine Beast be? Oh yeah, have you seen Solipsistic's team? I want to see what kind of god that guy is. Oh yeah, I haven't seen Solipsistic in a few places. Could he have died? When fighting this kind of boss, one mistake will result in a team wipe. It's not strange that he died. Lu Chen did not pay attention to the speculations on the internet. He closed the official website and focused his attention on the battle not far away. After waiting patiently for 40 minutes, Chaos HP was only left with about 20,000. Okay, it's time to start stealing kills. Chapter 66. Lu Chen had to rush to a few relic points. Time was tight. Fortunately, there was not much for him to do. In a team battle like this, the tank could not fall. Once the tank fell, the boss would be like a beast that had let go of its leash. It could turn the situation around in an instant. Holy Fire Shield Mountain was the main tank. His equipment might not be better than everyone else's, but his aggro control was definitely top-notch. Spider Web Entanglement. Lu Chen's target was Holy Fire Shield Mountain and the tanks beside him. To ensure that nothing went wrong, Lu Chen also trapped the tanks that were accompanying him. After all, there were many experts in the country. There might be a tank that was comparable to Holy Fire Shield Mountain. The entire team was in a mess. Oh no, Mountain is trapped. The other tanks can't move too. Fuck, what's going on? Holy Fire Shield Mountain was trying his best to control the boss. Who knew that he would suddenly be pinned to the ground? Isn't this Evan Hill's skill? There's a spider boss here. With the tanks trapped, the Chaos Remnant instantly appeared in front of Shield Mountain. Its huge eyes stared at Holy Fire Shield Mountain. The tanks were all close together, and the Chaos Remnant had a split attack. At this moment, looking at the dark red eyes of the Chaos Remnant, Holy Fire Shield Mountain muttered, "It's over." As expected, 8 seconds of binding time was enough for the Chaos Remnant to kill them several times. The tanks of several teams were killed almost at the same time. Who still has a tank? Hurry up. No, the tanks were following Shield Mountain just now to prevent him from being killed. In the end, they were all trapped together. Fuck, where did the spider web come from? The boss only has about 10,000 health points left. Although the Chaos Remnant had less than 20,000 health points, without the tanks, the Chaos Remnant began its massacre. Many with slightly inferior equipment were instantly killed with a swipe of its claws. Those who were standing close to it were instantly split and killed. Hold on. Attack with all you've got. The team leaders were still yelling, but they could no longer kill the boss with such low health points. At the same time, after Lu Chen released the spider web, he was already rushing to the next relic. At the northeast relic, 450 people and 12 guilds were killing Tao Tai. It was Dragon's Den who was in charge, but Lu Chen noticed that Dragon's Den wasn't the only one there. There were also top guilds like Thunder, TT, RDS, and so on. This side is pretty strong, and they have a lot of people. I saw them fighting pretty quickly before. Why does Tao Tai still have over 40,000 HP? Lu Chen was a little puzzled. However, after observing for a while, Lu Chen finally understood. The problem lay in Tao Tai's innate talent. This guy could absorb the opponent's pure spiritual energy in a large area. This was how the spirit pills worked. For example, if someone's spirit core was 100-100, the numerator of 100 was the pure spirit chi stored in the spirit core. It could be used to upgrade the level of the spirit core or directly used. In terms of spiritual attack, the spiritual attack of a level 1 spiritual pill was 1 point. Consuming 1 point of pure spiritual energy could only cause 1 point of spiritual damage. The storage limit was 100 points. Lu Chen had a level 8 spirit pill, so his spiritual energy was 8 points. Every time he used a spiritual energy attack, it would consume 1 point of pure spiritual energy and cause 8 points of spiritual energy damage. At the same time, the upper limit of his pure spiritual energy reserve was increased to 800 points. Of course, if he learned a certain skill in the future, the consumption of pure spiritual energy would also increase, and the conversion ratio of pure spiritual energy would also be different. However, at present, players were basically only using ordinary spiritual energy attacks. Therefore, upgrading the level of the spirit core had two effects. One was to increase the spiritual damage caused by 1 point of pure spiritual energy, and the other was to increase the upper limit of the pure spiritual energy reserve. But no matter what level the spirit core was, if there was no pure spiritual energy reserve, it would be impossible to launch a spiritual attack. At first, everyone had different levels of reserves of spirit cores. Relying on the large number of people, Tao Tai's HP dropped quite quickly. However, after fighting for a while, on the one hand, they were consuming their pure spiritual energy reserves. On the other hand, Tao Tai was also absorbing their pure spiritual energy, so their reserves were gradually exhausted. Without spiritual energy attacks, physical attacks couldn't break through the defense at all, and the speed of fighting the boss became slower and slower. Tao Tai's innate talent is equivalent to burning magical power. In Jiutian, spiritual energy will become more and more important. This innate talent is strong enough. Lu Chen couldn't help but sigh at the strength of the four vicious beasts. Xiong Qi's combo was equivalent to a 100% critical hit. No, it was stronger than a 100% critical hit because a combo could produce a critical hit. If two consecutive combo produced a critical hit at the same time, it was equivalent to 4 times the critical hit. Primal Chaos Splitting Attack, needless to say, was a close combat skill. Tao Tai's absorption of pure spiritual energy was almost the nemesis of everyone in Jiutian. Tao Tai must be in our hands. Lu Chen stared at the battlefield. Although they are fighting slowly, there are many experts here. It's safer to kill a few first. After saying that, Lu Chen launched his skill again and trapped several tanks. The so-called tanks, at the current stage, were just better equipped and had more experience. They couldn't really withstand the boss at all. Being trapped by Lu Chen like this, no matter how strong and professional they could only be killed in seconds. Several tanks were suddenly trapped by an unknown skill and were quickly killed. The battlefield suddenly became chaotic. What's going on? What the hell? Not good, the boss is out of control. Everyone pay attention to your position. Spread out, spread out. Lu Chen smiled slightly, you have more people, I'll let you fight for a while. I'll be back later. Tao Wu was in the northeast, and Lu Chen hurried to the northeast. Now that time was tight, in order to at least ensure that the 4 ancient beasts were in his hands, Lu Chen had to give up the west and north, and go straight to the 4 ancient beasts. Tao Wu's appearance was more robust, and the 2 horns on his head were exaggeratedly curved. He fought fiercely with more than 300 players in front of him, sometimes roaring and sometimes chasing players. There were 11 or 12 guilds here, more than where Tao Tai was. ESD's ESD Xiao Yao Feng was commanding, and there were also some other guilds, such as Wind Storm and the Internet Police Team. Lu Chen seemed to have some impression of ESD. They seemed to have bought his equipment, but he couldn't remember clearly. After all, many of these guilds had bought his equipment. However, the number of players here was only about 300. He didn't know if it was because these guilds had few people to begin with. At this time, Tao Wu's HP was still 11,000, which was already very low. Lu Chen temporarily observed for a while. Looking like this, Lu Chen couldn't help but be shocked. The reason for the small number of players here was not because these guilds had few people, but because there were too many players who died here. In the previous few places, other players were actually safe because of the skills of tanks. But here, almost no one was a tank in the true sense. Everyone was attacking by themselves. Lu Chen was a little puzzled at first. What was going on? Were there no good tank players here? But Tao Wu gave him the answer. With a bang, a player with over 2,300 HP almost lost all of his HP. Although he survived for the time being, he was inflicted with a debuff, negative abnormal status, stun. Stun for 5 seconds. There was no doubt that this guy would return to the Celestial Mountain soon. Damn, is the talent passive stun? No wonder there are no tanks. In front of such a high attack boss, which tank could survive after being stunned? This was not something that skill could make up for at all. In other words, there was no main tank here, because everyone was a tank. Once targeted, they could only rely on their own positioning to survive for a while. Damn, the 4 ancient ferocious beasts are indeed stronger than the other. Lu Chen took a deep breath. I must get my hands on this Tao Wu. 7-headed 3 idiots, stop hiding. Let's start here. Let's get ready to work. Chapter 67. Spider Web Entanglement. Lu Chen immediately attacked, and the 7 heads and 3 dumb heads rushed out of the forest at the same time. The players in the field were focused on dealing with Tao Wu. Suddenly, a white sticky thing shot over and stuck to the players who were trying to delay the boss. On the other side, everyone suddenly realized that their backyard was on fire. Damn, there's a monster behind us. Who lured the monster to another place? What kind of monster is this? Gnolls. And female ghosts. Not good, there's another boss behind us. Damn, its attack is so. Before the last word could be finished, that person returned to the Celestial Mountain to report. At this time, the players not only had to deal with the extremely difficult Tao Wu's soul remnant, but they also had to deal with the enemy behind them. They were attacked from the front and back, and it was difficult to take care of both sides. Damn, where did this monster come from? How did my team members die so quickly? Xiao Yao Feng had a headache. Tao Wu was originally more difficult to deal with than the other bosses, but they also provoked other monsters. The people behind, try to pull those monsters away, the ones here are dying. However, no one answered behind him. From the thick fog, a huge figure gradually appeared. Xiao Yaofeng slightly raised his head and looked at this terrifying monster. This, what kind of creature is this? Gnolls? Spiders? Bamboo pythons? Or three-petal flower demons? None of them. The name above its head was so long that only part of it could be seen. Gnoll Commander. This is not a gnoll. As he spoke, the terrifying guy raised his front foot and raised his sharp spikes to attack again. 3 numbers suddenly appeared above Xiao Yaofeng's head. -767, critical hit, -300, poisoned, -300, poisoned. This attack. Oh my god. Xiao Yaofeng hurriedly retreated. -300, poisoned, -330, poisoned, -300, poisoned, -360, poisoned. Xiao Yaofeng, dead. Xiao Yaofeng revived in front of the celestial mountain reincarnation mirror, and his whole body was stunned. Leader, you died too. Xiao Yaofeng still did not respond. Xiao Yao, were you also poisoned to death by that guy? Xiao Yaofeng turned around and looked at the vice leader, and found a friend. That guy's attack is too terrifying. Qiu Feng nodded. Yes, it was. Even Tao Wu had to hit me twice before he could kill me. But this guy only attacked me once, then turned around and left. Then I was poisoned to death. It's the venom of the poisonous spider and the 7-step poison of the green bamboo python. What kind of monster is that? Gradually, more and more people appeared in front of the reincarnation mirror. Carefree looked at these people and knew what was going on. The people from their teams had all died and returned. Sigh, this is too infuriating. 10,000 HP. Someone at the side was indignant. Everyone, don't just stand there. Let's hurry over. There are so many of us. We should be able to break through. It will take half an hour to get there from here. Is there enough time? Even if it's too late, we still have to go and take a look. After some discussion, Carefree Travel and the other captains felt that there was a need to try again. They immediately reorganized their forces and prepared to head to the 100 Beast Mountain Range. After taking care of ESD and the others, Lu Chen bai killed Bai En. He could deal over 4,000 HP in one wave. He only needed to deal 3 waves of damage. Bai En's stun was strong, but Lu Chen also had the spider web. Moreover, he had over 10,000 HP, Bai En could not kill him instantly. After killing Bai En, the system made an announcement: you have destroyed the Northeast Formation Core for me, Lone Tyrant. Fuck, Solipsistic actually got lucky. Fuck, I'm so angry. Qiu Feng shook his head. We were 90% done, but Solipsistic actually got lucky. Fuck, I've never been so frustrated playing games in my life. This guy is too disgusting. Carefree Travel sighed. Qiu Feng, we can only blame ourselves for being unlucky this time. If you were solipsistic, would you let go of this opportunity? Qiu Feng clenched his fist. But after thinking about it carefully, if he saw a boss with low HP, he would naturally not ignore it. Sigh, Carefree, I know you're right. I just feel unfair. Let's go and see if there's another chance. Lu Chen did not have time to complain about the system's big mouth. He did not even have time to look at the rewards and directly chose. Choose reward 2. Obtained, Bai En cub. Bai En looked a bit like a cow. Its size was similar to Xiao Bai and Xiao Hong. It was more attracted to you than a normal cow. Who would have thought that this guy would grow into a terrifying Bai En? Lu Chen smiled and carried Bai En. Little guy, I don't have time to play with you now. You can play with Xiao Bai and Xiao Hong first. 7 heads and 3 idiots, quick, Chaos is almost done. Let's go. Chaos Remnant had already cleaned up Holy Flame and the others. A huge beast with 15,000 HP was walking back and forth among a large number of corpses. Luckily there's no HP regeneration. Lu Chen panted. He did not have time to rest and immediately led the 7 heads and 3 idiots to work. Chaos Remnant's attacks were split attacks. Lu Chen's group had fewer people, and 7 of them were long-range attackers. They were not weak at all. After 4 waves of attacks, the Chaos Remnant's huge body crashed to the ground. Player, Solipsistic, destroyed the Southeast Formation Core. Lu Chen was already used to the system announcements and directly chose the Chaos Cub. His pet army was filled with another squeaky lion cub. Lu Chen put away the Chaos Cub and hurried to the next stop. When he left the Northwest Formation Core, Lu Chen left a few spider webs and disabled a few tanks. However, there were quite a lot of experts here. When Lu Chen returned, the players were not wiped out. Tao Tai's HP had been whittled down to a little over 20,000. Thunderclap and TT's remaining substitutes pulled back the aggro and took control of the battlefield. As expected of a top guild. Their adaptability is really good. Lu Chen could not help but exclaim. Of course, all of this was not beyond Lu Chen's expectations. Otherwise, he would not have come to Tao Tai's place in the end. Since the boss did not kill them, Lu Chen had to do it himself. In the fog, Lu Chen was like a ghost. He led the 7-headed fools to kill the players and completely messed up the battlefield. Player, Dynasty Crown Prince, destroyed the East Formation Core. This was the first player other than Solipsistic to successfully destroy the Formation Core. This news also made Lu Chen stunned for a moment. However, calculating the time, no matter how strong Lu Chen was, it was impossible for him to destroy all the Formation Cores. He did not know what reward Dynasty Crown Prince had chosen. Was it a phantom beast or a cub? If it was a cub, Lu Chen still had a chance to snatch it. If it was a phantom beast, then Lu Chen could not do anything about it. Whatever, I'll take down Tao Tai first. Lu Chen quickly collected his thoughts and cleared the battlefield. Under the encirclement of Lu Chen and Tao Tai, as well as the surrounding fog, even if they were all first-class experts, they could only accept the fate of being wiped out. After getting rid of the player team, Lu Chen was much more relaxed when facing Tao Tai. Tao Tai absorbed spiritual energy, but Lu Chen did not use spiritual energy to attack, he used poison. Absorbing impure spiritual energy only made him cultivate for a few more hours when he upgraded his spiritual power in the future. It had no effect on him killing Tao Tai's remnant soul. 20 minutes later, Lu Chen destroyed the Northwest Formation Core again and obtained Tao Tai's cub. Ha ha ha, the 4 vicious beasts are in my hands. Lu Chen solved one of his worries and relaxed a lot. Even if there was no harvest, this time he made a lot of money. In order to prevent people from coming over, Lu Chen temporarily left the Northwest Formation Core and moved to the center of the large array. This way, no matter which Formation Core he went to later, it would be very convenient. Dynasty Crown Prince should not leave here so easily. Although Lu Chen had completed his goal, he still did not give up. If he could get all the 8 mythological beasts, it would be perfect. People were greedy. If Lu Chen was like this, then the Dynasty Crown Prince must be like this as well. If Lu Chen guessed correctly, then he still had a chance. However, at this time, a system prompt suddenly appeared. Congratulations on collecting all the cubs of the 4 ancient vicious beasts and activating the hidden task, Ancient Vicious Beasts. The task will expire in 5 minutes. Once received, it must be completed within the specified time. Please choose whether to accept the task. Fuck. What's going on? Lu Chen frowned. The hidden task was activated at this time. Chapter 68. Although it was very rare to encounter a hidden mission, Lu Chen was now eyeing the 8 mythical beasts. This mission was time-limited, so he didn't know if he could make it in time. Let's take a look at the mission first. Lu Chen opened the mission. Mission, Ultimate Beast, Fog Forest Hidden Mission, time-limited, unique, non-repeatable. Mission description. First of all, congratulations to you for completing an incredible feat in a server-wide mission. You single-handedly destroyed more than 4 of the octagonal array cores. You also captured any combination of the 4 ancient beasts or the 4 mythical beasts of water and fire. This is the proof of your strength and luck. You are now qualified to complete a more difficult mission. Lu Chen frowned slightly. It seemed that the activation condition of this hidden mission was to kill the 4 ancient beasts or the 4 mythical beasts of water and fire. He had just gathered the 4 ancient beasts, so the mission was activated. His mission was called Ultimate Beast. If he gathered the 4 mythical beasts of water and fire, the mission might be Ultimate Beast. Then I'm the only one who can activate this mission. Lu Chen thought. Although he didn't gather the 4 mythical beasts of water and fire, Xiao Hong was in his hands. In other words, no matter how strong the other players were, they wouldn't be able to activate the mission because they didn't have Fire Kirin. I'm sorry, everyone. Lu Chen laughed sinisterly and sympathized with the other players. Then, he continued to look at the mission. Mission details: choose one of the 4 ancient beasts and enter the killing array to kill its remnant soul. Mission time, 24 hours, mission reward, summoning stone of illusory beast corresponding to the 4 ancient beasts or one of their offspring. Lu Chen blinked his eyes. There was actually a mythical beast's offspring here. This mission could only be activated by gathering the 4 ancient beasts. This also meant that the so-called Ultimate Beast was more powerful than the 4 ancient beasts. Damn, there are stronger ones. Lu Chen suddenly became excited. Let's take a look at the 4 ancient beasts first. 1. Purple Flame Phoenix, 2. Black Flame Dragon Emperor, 3. Sky-Devouring Demonic Tiger, 4. Overturn the Sea Martial Emperor. Lu Chen almost vomited blood. These were the 4 ancient beasts. Compared to them, his long string of prefixes was simply a joke. Dragon, Phoenix, Tiger, Turtle. They corresponded to the 4 great divine beasts, but they were of the dark element. As a citizen of Wuxia, Lu Chen at least knew that the 4 great mythological beasts were the strongest among the mythological beasts. Compared to the 4 great mythological beasts, the Qilin, Baiyan, Baizai, and so on were all inferior. Looks like the strength of the 8 divine beasts guarding the octagonal formation core should be about the same, and these 4 ultimate ferocious beasts are stronger than them. At this moment, all of Lu Chen's doubts had vanished into thin air. What water Qilin? What fire and water? He didn't care anymore. The 4 ultimate ferocious beasts were his true goal. This mission must be completed with all his might. However, the question now was which of the 4 ultimate ferocious beasts should he choose. After pausing for 2 seconds, Lu Chen chose the Black Flame Dragon Emperor. Not for anything else, but because it was a dragon. Wuxia's dragon. I choose the Black Flame Dragon Emperor. Lu Chen said with certainty. You have chosen your mission target. This will also be your mission reward. Mission, Ultimate Ferocious Beasts, activated. Please place the 4 great ancient ferocious beasts summoning stone or their cubs on the corresponding stone pillars. 4 stone pillars rose slowly from the northeast, southeast, northwest, and southwest directions. When they were about 1.5 meters tall, the 4 stone pillars stopped. Lu Chen placed Little White, Little Red, Little Mao, and Little Cow in the corresponding positions. Will this be like the secret territory prayer? Will they not return me after I put them up? Lu Chen was a little worried. However, the 4 little ones seemed to like staying on the stone pillars. Lu Chen saw that they didn't resist and sat on the stone pillars obediently. He didn't say anything else. I wonder if we can break through the murderous formation." When the four little ones returned to their positions, black smoke appeared from the side of the stone pillars. It covered the entire center of the mist forest. The black smoke gathered quickly. The four great ancient ferocious beasts that Lu Qin defeated earlier, Qiongqi, Taotai, Tao Wu, and Chaos Spirit appeared again. Damn, don't tell me I have to kill all four of them at the same time. Lu Qin was a little nervous. He couldn't kill all four of them at the same time. Think about it. Tao Wu stunned them, Qiongqi followed up with a combo attack, and Chaos split them. If Taotai just stood there and watched, his team would be killed within minutes. Dynasty's Crown Prince was leading his team to the Formation Eye in the west. "Crown Prince, we've agreed that we'll work together. You get the reward first this time, and we'll get it next time." Huang Sha looked at Dynasty's Crown Prince with his guard up. "Huang Sha, God of War is a reputable guild. Do we have to fall out with such a powerful ally just for a reward?" Dynasty's Crown Prince laughed. "That's right, Huang Sha. If you have the time to be wary of your own people, why don't you think about how to get more divine beasts?" Dynasty's ninth Wangye said. "Dynasty and God of War are definitely strong. There's also Snow Mountain, Mo Shou, and Tai Ah. We have more than 700 people. We're definitely the strongest team in the Fog Forest. With our team, even if we encounter the unique and righteous, we might not have a chance of winning." "That's right. I, Crown Prince, will definitely fulfill my promise to God of War and the other leaders. What we need to do now is to get more divine beasts. This thing is definitely beneficial for the development of the guild in the future. Let's not waste time here. Let's go get the fire Wushu." Huang Sha thought about it. Although he didn't trust Dynasty, Crown Prince was right. No matter what, they had to get another divine beast first. Although they were both divine beasts of water and fire, Tao Wu was different from Kirin. Kirin had high attack power, but Tao Wu's attack power was lower. However, Tao Wu's specialty was that it could attack from a distance. This was simply a nightmare for players. When they were fighting Tao Wu, Dynasty had more than 700 people, but they had lost more than 200 of them. This showed how troublesome Tao Wu's long-range attack was. As their vision was blocked, Crown Prince and the others hid in the surrounding forest and waited for the report from the scouts. Not long after, the scouts brought back the report. There were only 200 players left in the west. The commander was the Overlord's guild leader, Overlord Ao Tian. Fire Qilin did not have much HP left. It only had slightly more than 10,000 HP left. Overlord, Cloud Top only has this many people. Dynasty Crown Prince rolled his eyes. Huang Sha, this is a good opportunity. The boss's HP is low. Let's go and get it now. Overlord Ao Tian was concentrating on his command. They had more than 300 people in the beginning. Now, the boss was about to die. It was all thanks to the commander and everyone's ability. Seeing that the boss was about to die, he didn't dare to be careless. However, at that moment, a large group of people charged out of the dense forest behind them. No matter how strong Overlord Ao Tian's command was, there was nothing he could do when faced with such a situation where he was outnumbered. It's Dynasty and Combat God. Crown Prince, Huang Sha, you're despicable. Dynasty Crown Prince smiled. Ao Tian, what you're saying is too childish. In this place, the strongest person gets the treasure. You don't have the ability and you want to get your hands on the divine beast. I can only say, sorry. Brothers, kill them. After Dynasty Crown Prince shouted, he signaled to Jiu Wangye who was next to him. Jiu Wangye knew what he meant and immediately pounced on Ao Tian. Crown Prince, leave this person to me. You go and kill the others. Crown Prince nodded slightly and turned around, disappearing into the fog. Dynasty Crown Prince escaped from the battlefield alone and hid behind the stone pillar. Overlord and the others were no longer a threat. Next, Combat God and Royal's people would kill Huowu. Once they were done, he would be the closest to the stone pillar. Chapter 69. In the central area of the misty forest, the 4 primordial beasts stood on 4 stone pillars. The black gas around them was getting thicker and thicker. Gradually, the black gas began to condense, and the shape of a giant dragon became clearer. After a while, the Black Rock Dragon Emperor's soul finally appeared in front of Lu Chen. This guy was more than 10 meters long. It hovered in the air, looking down at the world with its majestic dragon aura. Lu Chen, who was more than 3 meters tall, looked so small in front of it. Damn, this is the ultimate beast, the Black Rock Dragon Emperor. Lu Chen took a deep breath. He was so shocked that he stuttered. In Zhoutian, this feeling was no different from reality. When he saw the Black Rock Dragon Emperor, the pressure was incomparable to any other game. Just by looking at the Black Rock Dragon Emperor's aura, Lu Chen was sure that this guy was much stronger than the 4 primordial beasts. Damn it, I can't beat it. At this moment, the 4 primordial beasts' souls finally moved. They jumped down from the stone pillars and stood in front of Lu Chen, facing the Black Rock Dragon Emperor. The 4 primordial beasts will help me. Lu Chen's eyes were filled with hope. The Black Rock Dragon Emperor glanced at the people below. Suddenly, it opened its mouth and spat out a ball of black flames. The 4 primordial beasts had 100,000 health points. They stood in front of Lu Chen, but after being attacked by the black flames, their health points decreased rapidly. The black flames caused each of the 4 primordial beasts to lose 20,000 health points. Damn, this is a spiritual attack. Lu Chen's eyes widened. Until now, Lu Chen had not seen a spiritual attack. The players, including the 7 primordial beasts, and himself, at most, added spiritual attacks to their normal attacks. However, the Black Rock Dragon Emperor's attack was completely different. 20,000 health points in one attack. And it was a group attack. If it were not for the protection of the 4 primordial beasts, Lu Chen and the others would have been killed instantly. No, this is an area of effect skill. I can't let the 4 primordial beasts gather together. Lu Chen immediately realized this point. The Black Flame Dragon King had already launched an attack. Lu Chen had to react in time. 7-headed 3 idiots, retreat to the safe zone. The 4 of you, spread out. Tao Tai absorbs pure spiritual energy. I'll try to attack. After receiving the order, Bayer leaped up and slapped the black dragon. Tao Wu's claw only dealt around 500 damage. The Black Rock Dragon Emperor's physical defense was terrifying. Other than that, the Black Flame Dragon King had 500,000 HP. Surprisingly, Tao Wu's claw had a special effect, stun. That guy isn't immune to dizziness either. Lu Chen gradually calmed down. The Black Flame Dragon King was not immune to stun, nor was it immune to poison. That meant that it was not impossible to fight. When it stunned for 5 seconds, everyone attack with all you've got. Lu Chen shouted as he rushed over, his front leg stabbing at the dragon's tail. -1, critical, -300, poisoned, -300, poisoned. You can use poison. Lu Chen took advantage of the Black Flame Dragon Emperor's stun and attacked continuously. Although he could not break through its defense, the poison effect would last for a while if he attacked a few more times. 5 seconds, the 4 beasts and Lu Chen attacked crazily. The Black Rock Dragon Emperor's HP slowly decreased. In the end, it lost around 20,000 HP. When the Black Rock Dragon Emperor woke up, it immediately turned around and pounced at Xiongqi. Xiongqi had a combo attack. In the same time, it would definitely deal the highest damage. Naturally, it would attract aggro. Black Flame's cooldown was not over yet. The Black Rock Dragon Emperor turned around and pounced at Qiongqi. 4144. Qiongqi's physical defense was quite high. However, the Black Dragon's attack had dealt over 4000 HP to it. Damn, its physical attack is also so strong. This guy is a dual magician. Lu Chen hurriedly activated Web Entanglement. Tao Wu, Chaos, continue to attack. Tao Tai, burn mana. Qiongqi, keep your distance. Once Tao Wu is stunned, everyone attack. Lu Chen immediately ordered. Under normal circumstances, Qiongqi would not be able to escape from the Black Dragon's attack. However, Lu Chen had a super powerful crowd control skill, Web Entanglement. When Lu Chen first learned this skill, he regretted it. Now, it seemed that the 1000 Sound of Flowers was worth it. Whether or not he could defeat the Black Rock Dragon Emperor depended on this skill. Tao Wu's stun rate was very high. After 2 to 3 attacks, the Black Rock Dragon Emperor was stunned again. The 4 beasts and Lu Chen rushed forward and attacked it. As Tao Wu could not stack the stun effect during the stun period, the Black Rock Dragon Emperor would definitely wake up after 5 seconds. At this time, Qiongqi, who had the highest damage output and the highest aggro value, quickly ran away. Lu Chen did not wait for the Black Dragon to take all of the damage from the 7-step poison. He immediately used Web Entanglement. Lu Chen had thought very clearly about the reason why he did not wait for the Black Dragon to move and let the 7-step poison take effect. The damage of the 7-step poison was weaker than the 4 mythical beasts. The most important thing now was to protect the 4 mythical beasts. Qiongqi, Tao Wu and Tao Tai were very important. Even Hun Dun, who was the most useless against the Black Rock Dragon Emperor, could deal more damage than the 7-step poison. There was still plenty of time. There was no need to pursue the poison damage. After a few attacks, the Black Rock Dragon Emperor lost 100,000 health points. It had been a long time since it last attacked with the Black Flame. Tao Tai has been limiting its pure spiritual energy storage. If that was the case, it was only a matter of time before they killed the Black Rock Dragon Emperor. Half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, in the system notification, Dynasty's Crown Prince destroyed the West Relic while Celestial Butcher Xianyuan destroyed the North Relic. However, Lu Chen did not care about these notifications at all. 3 hours. The mission has been completed. With everyone's efforts, we've successfully defended against the mist. The reward for the Octagon Relic has been released. The double experience will start at 10 a.m. on Friday and will end at 20 p.m. in Fenglingzi's live streaming channel. The fans were obviously not satisfied. The mission has been completed. The experts from the national server are so powerful. I heard that those who destroy the relic will get the summoning stone of illusion or the baby of a divine beast. Damn, those who got the rewards are so powerful. Solipsistic got 5 of them. I wonder if he wants the summoning stone or the baby. Dynasty's Crown Prince is so powerful too. He got 2 of the rewards among so many experts. Dynasty will definitely be powerful in the future. Don't you guys know about Dynasty? I heard that Dynasty's Crown Prince tricked Ares' people. Initially, Dynasty's Crown Prince was supposed to get the second reward. However, he touched the stone pillar first and got the reward first. Is that true? Ares' people didn't do anything to them. They went offline after they got the reward. Damn, that's disgusting. Hey, did you guys notice why the mist in the mist forest hasn't dispersed even though the mission has been completed and there are no more monsters in the mist? It was unknown who said this, but everyone was stunned at once. That's right. Wasn't the mission completed? Why hasn't the mist dispersed? A large group of top players from the server were sent to the entrance of the mist. There were enemies and guilds that went through hardships together. However, everyone was looking at the entrance of the mist forest in confusion. The entrance had not disappeared and there was still mist around. What's happening? The mist is still there. Someone's still in there. I know who it is. It's solipsistic. Everyone came to their senses. That's right. Solipsistic was still in there. Maybe he's fighting some monsters and hasn't left the battle yet. That's why he can't be sent out. That's very possible. He's here to resell equipment. He definitely won't let go of those monsters with such high drops. That's interesting. I'd like to see who this legendary mad god is. The mission had ended. However, none of the 10,000 most powerful players from the national server left. Fanglingzi took a deep breath and said to the audience watching the live stream, Mad God's real face is finally revealed. Chapter 70. Lone Tyrant's ID could be said to be known by everyone in the country. However, the strange thing was that none of the players from the newbie village had said that they had seen Solipsistic before. Perhaps Solipsistic's level was higher than most of the players, but no one had seen him before. This had caused many rumors about Solipsistic to spread on the internet. Now, the Fog Forest mission had merged all the Chinese servers. After the mission, everyone would be teleported to the entrance of the Fog Forest. Moreover, Solipsistic had been on TV 5 times, proving that he was here. Fengling, don't go offline. Let us see Solipsistic. I want to see what kind of monster he is. He can leave all the guilds and players behind. What kind of monster is he? I'm not going to sleep anymore. The _1 mystery of Jiutian is going to be solved today. I must see it with my own eyes. After waiting for half an hour, it was 6:00 in the morning. Lone Tyrant's group of mobs hadn't been finished yet. It can't be that long, right? He should have been teleported out after the first wave. I think he might not even be here. It's possible that he died before. Black Dragon Yen Huang only had 1/10 of its HP left, but Lu Chen was still in good health. After fighting 5 mythological beast remnant souls, plus spending almost 4 hours with the Black Rock Dragon Emperor, Lu Chen's spirit was exhausted. He was now relying on his last bit of willpower. There would not be a second chance. This time, he had to take down the Black Rock Dragon Emperor. The last hour was the most difficult one for Lu Chen since he started playing the game. Lu Chen was physically and mentally exhausted. He even made a few mistakes, which directly led to the death of Qiong Qi. Fortunately, Hun Dun was able to fill in the gaps in time, which prevented the team from being wiped out. Stunned. Lu Chen, Hun Dun, Tao Tai, and even the 7 divine beasts launched their final attack. The Black Rock Dragon Emperor's HP was at its last sliver for a few seconds before it was finally killed. Congratulations, you have slain the Black Rock Dragon Emperor Remnant. Mission, Ultimate Dire Beast, completed. Seeing this notification, Lu Chen was completely exhausted. Hun Dun and the rest returned to the stone pillars. Even Qiong Qi, who had died in battle, returned. The black gas gradually dissipated, and they became cubs again. Lu Chen lifted his eyelids weakly. Seeing the 4 little fellows sitting there, he smiled weakly. Not bad, at least you've returned them to me. Please select your reward from the options below. 1. Black Flame Dragon Emperor's Soul Essence Fragment. You can summon a powerful Black Rock Dragon Emperor to fight for you. The duration and the strength of the Black Rock Dragon Emperor will become stronger as your spiritual power grows. 2. Black Flame Dragon Emperor Cub. Summon a Black Rock Dragon Emperor Cub. The Black Flame Dragon Emperor Cub is the weakest compared to the other Dragon Emperor Cub and is easily attacked by other creatures. You will need to put in more effort for its growth. I choose reward number 2. Lu Chen did not even think about it. A small black snake appeared in front of Lu Chen. It was about 10 centimeters long. It swam towards Lu Chen and stuck out its tongue from time to time. Lu Chen did not like snakes. If Lu Chen did not know that this fellow was the Black Flame Dragon Emperor cub, he would have been frightened by this fellow. Lu Chen was too lazy to look at the attributes. He just wanted to rest now. He stretched out his hand. The little fellow climbed up Lu Chen's arm and stopped on Lu Chen's shoulder. It looked very obedient. When the fire Qilin Xiaobai saw the little snake, it stretched out its claws and wanted to bully the little snake. In the end, the little snake stood up and stuck out its tongue at Xiaobai, scaring Xiaobai into hiding in Lu Chen's arms. "Huh, little white, I suggest that you get along well with it. It will protect you in the future." After keeping the other 4 cubs, Lu Chen now had 6 divine beast cubs. And one of them was a dragon. You have completed Ultimate Beast and unlocked the legendary hidden mission, Divine Blood Demon Seed. Please check the mission panel. Legendary hidden mission. What's that? Lu Chen opened the mission panel curiously. A new mission appeared as expected. Mission, Divine Blood Demon Seed. Even the name of this mission was orange. Completed the mission's Ultimate Divine Beast, and Ultimate Beast, and cleared the 3 hidden dungeons Ragnarok, Demonic Shrine, and Ghost Valley. Collected 4 Ultimate Beasts, Black Flame Dragon Emperor, Purple Flame Phoenix, Sky Devouring Demonic Tiger, and Fu Hai Wu. Mission Progress, 1/4, collected 4 Ultimate Divine Beasts, Azure Dragon, Foodie Vermilion Bird, Aurora White Tiger, and Gilded Black Tortoise. Mission Progress, 0/4, Ragnarok Dungeon, incomplete, Demonic Shrine Dungeon, incomplete, Ghost Valley, incomplete, and, Mission Reward, 1 portion of Divine Blood, 1 portion of Demon Seed. Looking at this mission, Lu Chen did not feel good. Fuck this, what kind of fucking difficult mission is this? To complete all 4 Ultimate Beasts missions, there were still 4 Ultimate Divine Beasts missions, and to clear the 3 hidden dungeons. Even the weakest part of this mission, subduing the Black Flame Dragon Emperor, required the 4 ancient beasts, and defeating the Black Flame Dragon Emperor. This was already an impossible mission. In the end, in the Divine Blood Demon Seed mission, this mission only took up 1/11 of the mission. If the difficulty of the hidden dungeon was taken into account, it was not even 1/11 of the mission. Fuck, this is indeed a legendary mission. It's impossible to complete. Forget it, I'll not look at it. It has nothing to do with me anyway. However, the next system notification had a lot to do with Lu Chen. Fog Forest mission has been completed. The Fog Forest will disappear permanently in half an hour. You will be teleported to the entrance of the Fog Forest in 2 minutes. Fuck. He was going to be teleported out. Didn't this mean that the other players would be teleported out as well? Lu Chen did not know that he was the only one in the Fog Forest. He also did not know that half an hour ago, there were nearly 5,000 people waiting at the entrance of the Fog Forest, just to see his glory. Only I, the unique and only, what kind of person was this? Fortunately, Lu Chen thought that the situation would be worse. He thought that he would be teleported out with the other players in the Fog Forest. Imagine a scene where a group of people were teleported out together, and suddenly there was a half-gnoll, half-spider, with a snake tail, wooden horns, and a string of names above his head. Lu Chen did not dare to imagine that scene. What should I do? What should I do? I'm going to be surrounded by tens of thousands of people. Lu Chen anxiously paced back and forth. Lu Chen's brain was not working. He could only place his hopes on his most magical function, the reputation store. Opening the reputation store, Lu Chen just took a look and found a magical item. Fuck, when did I get this skin? At the same time, the scene at the entrance of the Fog Forest was different from what everyone expected. At first, many people were waiting for the solipsistic, but after waiting for half an hour and seeing that no one came out, half of them left. Then, another 10 minutes passed. Even the most patient people did not expect to see the solipsistic. However, as the two of them quietly went online, the players, who were already exhausted, instantly went into an uproar. Someone discovered that the Crown Prince, who had 2 Fog Forest rewards, and the Celestial Slayer Xian Yuan, who had 1 reward, were mixed in with the crowd. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.